Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is a very thankful Wednesday, November 25th, 2020, and this show on SiriusXM begins right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop there. Very thankful Wednesday. Obviously, Thanksgiving's tomorrow, and there's a lot of games to talk about. There's some COVID situations happening both in the NFL and in college football. There's a lot of life things happening, and we have a massive show for you today. Woo! Joining us in about 1 hour, football player Mike Allstott.
Oh, yeah!
We spent 20 to 30 minutes this morning watching old Mike Allstott highlights and interviews with him. I cannot wait to chat with this man. They called him the A-Train when he got the Rock back in the day. He was a mixture of Derrick Henry meets Owen Schmidt for those that got a chance to watch West Virginia football back in the day. He was a bruiser. If you never watched him play, please go do that. He talks about his high-top cleats that he wore that resembled combat boots, because that's what he thought it was. He had a neck roll, big pads on, and he just loved the game of football. And when you watch him play, you'll be like, damn, that coach's son, that guy with high energy, that guy with a high motor, first one in, last one out, lunch pail type of guy. That is the prototypical guy of old school football. It was just run the ball over people's faces, and then every once in a while he'd have a jump cut that would just explode onto the scene and made no sense. If social media was around when the A-Train was playing football, this guy would have 10 billion followers because the highlights that he made week in and week out that we watch. Super Bowl champion, obviously they won by 28 points or something in the Super Bowl over the Raiders when John Gruden was their coach down in Tampa. He was the face of the Buccaneers for a long time. In one interview, he said what we did good was the run game, so we had to do that. And it was like, listen, I know you're saying what other people say about your team, but what they're saying is you're the good team. You're the good part of the team. Yeah. Mike Allstott was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there for a while. Now, granted, Warwick Dunn came into that backfield. Lorenzo Neal, legendary fullback, Pro Bowl fullback. He was a fullback for Mike Allstott at one point. That backfield that Tony Dungy and John Gruden had back there was just hilarious, awesome, and we get a chance to chat with a guy whose name will forever be synonymous with football because he basically was football. The A-Train Mike Allstott out of Purdue University, by the way. Native of Chicago, but Tampa Bay Buccaneer legend. He'll join us in about an hour. And Tom Pelissaro from the NFL Network will join us in the third hour alongside AJ Hawk on this Thankful Wednesday. We would like your phone calls as well. 1-888 Mad Dog 6. Can't wait to chat with you on this SiriusXM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio. Thankful Wednesday. At Tone Diggs, how you doing, pal? Big Thanksgiving coming up. We will be off tomorrow, by the way, for Thanksgiving. I will be on Friday, but a lot of the boys are traveling, so who knows how that show will be going. Probably not a lot of people listening or watching, but wanting to save vacation days, to be clear. So doing the show on Friday, we'll probably take a lot of phone calls. A lot of phone calls on Friday. We'll probably be reacting to the Thanksgiving games, having a good old time. Can't wait for that, but we're off tomorrow. Big Thanksgiving for you, Tone. I'm excited for you to go spend some time with the new wife, by the way. First time at Thanksgiving with a wife. And the in-laws, like the actual in-laws, like everything like that, Tone. Yeah. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it'll all be the same. We're drinking, we're watching football for the next 4 or 5 days. 5 days. Awesome.
I feel like you got a tweet earlier this morning, somebody asking you it was on the pod yesterday. Oh, yeah. What time do you begin boozing and vitamins? And Diggs, I'm going to be honest, when I heard your answer, I immediately was like a little bit worried about you. But I feel like your mindset is one that captivates a lot of different people.
Well, Thanksgiving's a top 5 drinking holiday, and people forget about that. But, yeah, the in-laws, they will also indulge with me in that.
Yeah. I think you said as soon as you wake up, I believe.
Yeah. Well, around 11.
That's when you wake up.
No, he wakes up real early. You got to
I do.
remember,
Yeah,
this is
8
an early
o'clock.
rise.
Well, around 11.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Thanksgiving's a big drinking holiday, mostly because the night before Thanksgiving is like the second largest drinking night of the year, right behind New Year's Eve. But a lot of states have said, no.
Not this year.
No. You think you're doing that whole night before Thanksgiving? We're back from college. Let's go ahead and black out at the local bar that we could never really get into because our fake IDs weren't good enough till we got to college. Think again. You've been at home for college anyway, and you will remain home for the Wednesday night. Yep. Pennsylvania stopped selling beer or stopped selling any alcohol yesterday or today at 5?
Today at 5.
Today at 5.
Jeez.
Nobody's allowed to sell alcohol until tomorrow at noon or something like that, or Friday at noon or something like that. It's like, so right now, all the liquor stores and state stores in Pennsylvania is what they're called. That's the only place you can get beer. Everywhere else in America, basically, you can get beer and things everywhere else, basically. But not in Pennsylvania. You have to go to a state store because they have taxes on it so big. And I wonder if they had they need money quick.
Packed.
All right, what are we going to do to get money quick? Well, what we need to do is just shut off the fucking alcohol sales right before Thanksgiving at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. Do you know how we'll sell everything?
boy.
That makes sense.
The state this is a big Wednesday or big sale Wednesday for the state. That's why they shut down the night or everything like that. But I think that is one of the main reasons why Thanksgiving is such a drinking holiday is because the night before, in a lot of states, they don't get to celebrate that. A holiday was taken away.
Well, most people have to drink to be with their family, too, so that's partially.
Yeah, a lot of big conversations coming up at this.
Oh,
Well, hey, by the way, if you're doing Thanksgiving, though, a lot of people are saying you better start planning some funerals, too, at them, right?
Oh, yeah, you're not allowed.
A news person told me that straight face, too, and I was like, oh, my God, for real?
Be careful.
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
On the news, it said if you're doing Thanksgiving with your family, and it's like, I forget how many people, if you're doing Thanksgiving with your family, while you're there, you guys should start planning funerals.
Uh-oh.
News person said that. A news person said that. I was watching at home and I just like looked over at my wife. I was like, holy fuck. Who's planning the funeral? Is it me or you?
Break out the casket magazines. I mean, geez, you better pick one.
Let's go ahead and get to it, man. It was, so I guess everybody's supposed to have very small gatherings.
Yeah.
Right? Thanksgiving, big family holiday, small gatherings. Okay. Hope you're safe, Diggs, by the way. And not just from the vid, by the way. I think potentially also the blackout that you're going to have by noon. It's
Right.
your original answer. Yeah.
No, I'm professional.
Steelers-Ravens game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be fine for that.
Absolutely. Take a nap. Maybe do it 2 a day. Make it a 3 a day.
Hung over for it.
Yeah, why not go for it? Ravens are down more players than anything, and I guess the conversation is started that should they postpone the game?
Whoa.
Should they postpone this game because the Ravens, who are supposed to play on tomorrow, who are supposed to travel today to Pittsburgh, should they postpone the game because more positive tests are rolling out? They don't know who all has it and who doesn't. They're also contemplating traveling tomorrow, like what the Patriots had to do whenever they went and played the Chiefs earlier in the season because of the outbreak that the Patriots had. I mean, there's a lot of question marks around that Steelers-Ravens game, and you're probably going to be, I would assume, 10, 11 drinks deep at that point.
No, I mean, I'll be fine. I mean, I'll always be comprehensive in there for the Steeler game. But
You just have to wear a shirt.
yeah, I have it.
Okay, good.
Moving that game is ridiculous. I mean, the 49ers didn't have a player on their offense who touched the ball just a year before in the Super Bowl, and they didn't move that game, but we're thinking about moving this game, a Thursday night primetime game. What are we doing?
But it doesn't sound like you're just saying this strictly because
Well, you already fucked the Steelers once because they didn't have a bye week because the Titans couldn't control their goddamn locker room. So you want to fuck them again?
that is interesting. This would be a tough go for the Steelers because this game probably moves to Sunday then. So they just have a regular full week as
Probably,
opposed to, by the way, the potential bye week weekend that they had on the other side of this.
Yeah.
No more Steelers. Okay, you thought you had a bye earlier. No. You thought you had a 4-day week. No. This is going into the weekend. I assume that is definitely on the table. And they would probably just change the timing of the games. I would assume they would bump them either all back or separate them a little bit more if I had to guess.
I mean, it takes all of us, and if the Ravens don't realize that, then that's their fault.
I wonder what happened over there. You know, they lose in overtime to the Titans, and then the next day, both running backs have it. Okay, so let's assume those two were with somebody, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then immediately, isn't the contact tracing supposed to do something, right? And then they were like, there's no contact tracing now. It's very interesting how this is all working out because some facilities just a few weeks ago, if somebody got tested positive and they were out of the building, they just tell them stay home, lock them down. They would clean sweep the entire facility, and everybody would go to work the next day. The Browns found out they had somebody positive, and they're working from home today. So it's like kind of at the beginning of the year, whenever they heard that somebody tested positive in the NFL, nobody would go to the facility. Let's shut it down. Who knows what's going to happen? Then as the NFL had more and more cases kind of pop up, and they figure out that they were able to neutralize them just by keeping the at-risk party at home, and everybody else can kind of still work. So we're not going to shut down the facility. We're still going to do our thing. And now the Browns are going back. I wonder if there was Did we learn that the way of keeping people at home and just going about your workday was failing? I wonder with the information that they're hearing and why people are doing what they're
I
doing.
assume the staying at home part now is part of like now that they've doubled down on the more intensive protocols, like that may be part of it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that they do. Hey, listen, we're going to get to the fucking playoffs, okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right? We don't care. We threw you out there whenever you didn't practice for a whole week. We don't care. We do not care,
Don't matter.
okay? We can't do the bubble. I understand because there's fucking too many people, and it has to be too big. We'd have to build our own city. Maybe Bezos should have done that. We should have thought about that. Wait, we could have done that. We can't do the bubble, but you know what we can do? These protocols that we're about to rack up, it is basically a bubble, and guys are still getting it. And I'll be intrigued to see if guys go the opposite direction on these protocols. You know, it's almost, I don't want to say that all NFL players have like a maverick gene or like a rebel gene, but I feel like if you tell people they're not allowed to do certain things and it gets the grasp gets tighter and tighter on people as the goal diminishes, right? Because their team's starting to stink. If it has no chance at the playoffs, I'll be intrigued to see how that gets handled. You know, because you would think, you know, hey, you're in the NFL, you get to play in the NFL.
That's right.
Privilege.
Especially now in the world that we're in, you have no right to be pissed off about the world that you're living in because the world that we're all living in, you have to figure that out. But then you can also say like, oh, it's a fucking human, you know, and if you're being told that you have to do all this to get this, and this is no longer possible. Okay, so you just got to expect that a human's going to do that. But you would hope, hey, takes all of us.
Takes
Fuck,
all of us.
God,
Don't forget.
you're getting paid money to do this, all right? This is your job now, all right? You used to think you got paid for practice? You don't get paid for practice anymore.
No.
You get paid to isolate, okay? Be hard to be a human, though. You know?
Very
It'd be
difficult.
very hard to be a human.
Especially when you're 0-11.
Yeah. 0-11, maybe 2 and whatever, 3 and whatever, 5 and whatever, and you know you have no chance unless you're in the NFC East. You're like, okay, yeah, I'll just, you know what I'll do? I'll come here, hate my life here, not allowed to talk to eat or with anybody, talk to anybody. Then I'll go home and I'll just lock myself in my room and I'll hate myself here. I got it. Okay, we'll do this for the next 5 weeks. And what we're saying is, that's what you got to do.
Gotta do it.
God, it sounds terrible.
For the Shield.
At Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt, Thankful Wednesday, you guys were very, very, very serious about getting a thank you in as a group, I believe, as a pair.
Yep.
Would you guys like to take it from here?
Yeah, we just wanted to give a special thank you on Thank You Wednesday to Take. Thank you, Take. Love you, Take.
Love you.
Taker's done a lot for all of us. I think we can all agree on that. And it
Thick
just,
and thin.
you know, everyone was getting their opportunity. we wanted to make sure that
I love you,
we
Take.
got our chance too. So thank you, Take.
Thank you, Take.
For those that don't know, that is Undertaker. Okay, and they celebrated 30 years of Undertaker at Survivor Series on Sunday.
What a run.
They had it in 3 decades
Wow.
of awesome.
Decades.
Thank you, Take.
Thank you, Take.
The hashtag was thank you Taker, and boy, some of those messages saying thanks to Undertaker were very interesting. I don't think any of us could have expected Undertaker to have that type of reach and that type of appeal, but he was trending for I think 48 hours.
Yeah.
And some of them were giving him credit for their children.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Their entire life.
It's like, yo, Undertaker was awesome.
Yeah,
A
he
hell of a
was.
run. I agree. But boy, he affected some people much more than others. And we saw a lot of that on Twitter. And you two just couldn't help but, you know, really just go ahead and put a megaphone on that.
I mean, he's been a father figure for so many that if we didn't shine a spotlight on Tiger, then, I mean, what would we be doing as a society?
They had a song
if we're
they were
not
creating
thanking
out
those
there.
people?
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ready.
Should we?
It's not ready yet.
It's Thankful
It's
Wednesday.
kinda just like a
It
chorus.
is Thankful Wednesday.
I mean, it just, you know, it's something like, thank you, Take, miss you, Take, what? You know, you just,
Love you, Take, need you, Take, what? You know, it's
you get it.
they're going to just keep going back and forth.
They are going to be chanting that at Mania this year. Need you, Take, love you, Take, what?
I just want everybody to know that one was for us. that whole last 5 minutes there was strictly for the office.
And take.
And Take.
And take. Okay? Let's not forget those 30 years.
Legit, man. I was reading some things on Twitter about what Taker did for people.
Long time.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah, it really was.
Undertaker might be the most impactful human to ever exist.
Yeah. He baptized a child, I saw. Take the Pope, more like it.
By the way, thank you, Taker.
Thank you, Tank.
Thank you, Taker. At Viva Lazito, what is your poll for the day?
We have a Thanksgiving poll today. What's your favorite side for Thanksgiving? We threw 3 out there. Right now, mac and cheese in last, 25.1. A lot of people say it does not go with Thanksgiving, though. Very shocking in the comments.
Well, that's interesting because we only put it in there because Russell Wilson has a Cooking with Russ segment now on his Instagram where he had a top chef teach him and his chef how to make good macaroni and cheese. It was a very delicious looking meal. And he said macaroni and cheese, great side. So that's why it made it on this.
So I was really confused by that.
Russell Wilson, I thought.
Is he a liar?
Zito said yesterday if he had his choice, he would only have mac and cheese.
I love mac and cheese.
And I would assume that the people who eat mac and cheese, like they'll bring out any reason to eat mac and cheese. Like my wife loves mac and cheese.
Oh yeah.
And that thing, it goes with a lot of things I would never have expected.
Goes with anything.
But I have seen mac and cheese at plenty of Thanksgiving. I do believe.
Yeah, I just don't think it's one of the upper tier items, really.
Really?
On this,
We're
go
saying
ahead,
that.
finish your last two.
Sorry, stuffing's next at 36.5%, and mashed potatoes 38.2.
That's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Boom.
yeah, mashed potatoes people are all, like they just do exactly what they're told.
Correct.
Whoa. Mashed potatoes are the best part of Thanksgiving.
Like turkey and mashed potatoes. Let's have a great Thanksgiving. Okay, we get it. But we've experienced it now. Stuffing is 10 to 15 times better than mashed potatoes.
I've
with
never
your soft bread.
I've never
and
agreed with
celery,
you
right?
more.
I just want to, what's that?
I've never agreed with you more.
We understand that mashed potatoes were a staple of a lot of things for
Those
a
are
long
time.
time.
Put them in a bowl and fuck.
Yeah, we get
some butter.
easy to make.
Congrats.
This is before we had taste buds and stuff like that. Before people were like, let's make things. I understand that mashed taters are important in the fabric of, just families in existence. Okay, I get it. But you cannot look that deep fried fucking turkey in the eye and say, hey, these taters taste better with you than that fucking stuffing right there that came right out of the inside of you right there. I mean, you got to be shitting me right now.
It feels like we're forgetting the mash, and now we're gonna have to start a thank you mashed as well, because mashed are basically the taker of the Thanksgiving dinner.
It's not true.
Yeah. It's been around a lot longer than 30 years, pal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Bruno Sammartino is the mashed potatoes. Okay, that is the mashed potatoes. The man that was the champion for like 20 years straight. That is what mashed potatoes was. Bruno Sammartino, by the way, great Pittsburgh guy, great Italian guy, badass, sold out Madison Square Garden all the way up into Canada. Okay, I love Bruno Sammartino. What I'm saying is, I think things have evolved. I think things have evolved. Now you can't see particular wrestlers that are at the top of the world. You know what I mean? There's things that have evolved. That's what mashed potatoes is. It's the staple. Okay, it held it down. It was great.
Okay.
All right, have it on the side. Needs so much salt to make it taste worth a single fuck at all. But put it on the side.
It's the damn glue of the entire meal.
Thank you.
Just disparaging it.
Yeah.
Glue.
Why?
Yeah, the stuffing is inside the fucking turkey.
That's true.
That is
The glue. The glue.
Technically,
Yeah.
the gravy's the glue that brings it all together.
Now, granted, gravy on taters, mashed potatoes, really good. You know why? Because the gravy is fucking unbelievable. And by the way, the gravy, I would say, was potentially the next step after the mashed potatoes because everybody got so sick of it. They're like, can we add some flavor to this fucking thing?
Okay.
Let's add some gravy. Now the gravy becomes big Thanksgiving.
I put butter and corn and gravy on top of my mashed potatoes because they're just not good enough by themselves.
Yeah, that's
Damn
kind of
you.
They do need a lot of salt and pepper.
Yeah. Well, that's because they stink.
You guys have to get a new potato chef. I'll tell you that much.
Well, if you go like deep double fried or something, double baked, twice baked, triple
crispy
baked,
top. Yep.
those are good. Listen, I'm not saying all potatoes are bad.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. Bashing the only good thing that came out of Ireland. Here we go.
You shitting me?
Don't you even! I would rattle off all the things that Ireland created that are awesome. Okay, right now I would, but we don't have enough time, and I don't want you to distract the conversation because that's what somebody does whenever they're losing the conversation, and I don't have time for that.
Snakes.
What I'm saying is, if you think about all the things, we ran those motherfuckers out of there. Shout out St. Patrick's Day,
See
March
ya.
17th. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah,
But
not allowed to
anyways,
celebrate, Nick.
let's talk about the things that potatoes have done well. Okay.
Okay.
That double baked one, good. I think baked potato, with all the shit in it.
Oh,
Right? Not
delicious.
alone. Can't eat it alone because if you eat it alone, guess what? Mashed potatoes. So you put all the shit in there, it is good. I think tater tots, unbelievable. I'm a big tater tot fan. Absolutely big tater tot. French fry fan. Big fan. Except for the steak fries. You know why? Steak fries got mashed potatoes inside of them. They're the worst fucking fries.
They get
This
soggy.
gets me right back to the point that the people that are voting for mashed potatoes as the number one side are just told that they're supposed to vote that their entire life. And I'd like them to potentially open their horizons in their taste buds.
Breaking news,
and
we're tied.
experience. We're tied?
We're tied now.
This is a
Yeah,
good
it's fine.
campaign we're going on. Bullshit. This is a good
37.7%.
campaign. Your guys' little boring ass, terrible tasting thing.
No.
Crashing right now. It's
Water will
like-
find its level. MASH will win this poll. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, listen, I like stuffing too, but you acting like it's some flavorful burst in your mouth. It's just soft bread and celery. Like,
Oh,
relax.
well, you're not
so
having the
good.
right stuffing, dude.
Dude, stovetop, bro?
No, hell no.
Have a, have
no,
nice
you're-
Italian stuff. You can throw a little prosciutto in there.
Oh, I love prosciutto.
Are you kidding me? I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, my aunt makes it homemade. Relax. That guy's number one potato product is potato skin, so he needs to step himself out of the conversation.
Pretty good. Potato skins are very good. TGI Fridays potato skins. You don't get any better than that, my
What's that?
friend.
Baked potato. It's fried, though. That's all that is, right? Just
Yeah, I
kind of
mean,
cutting the cutting the
basic
corners.
With all the loading, baby.
Yeah, it's got cheese and bacon on it.
Some chives.
Now, there's no chance I'm going with that over a tater tot if a tater tot is available. And there's loaded tots in certain places. You can't get that for delivery, though, because then, the loadedness kind
Yeah.
of ruins the
Yeah.
tots or whatever.
Soggy.
But boy, if you can get the tots, you get the tots.
Hey.
And shout out to Napoleon Dynamite, too, just basically making an entire movie off that goddamn thing.
And you know why I like the TGI Fridays potato skin the best? It has the least amount of potato. So it's the least amount of mashed potato skin.
What we're saying is the best potato products have the least amount of potential mashed potato involved with it. Okay? That's all we're saying. So whenever you're voting on this poll, at Viva Lazito's poll, we're telling you to please take it serious because you want all that way to make sure you were,
Registered to vote.
and then you vote on this poll. Your vote matters. Okay?
Counts.
Your vote counts. Your vote says something about you.
This election is a fraud. I mean, the Italian vote is going to completely take over here, and it's not even going to be
Matt
a
Field's actually
real
on top of it
election.
now.
Italians don't have anything to do with this.
All right.
Yes, they hate
Diggs
mashed
is blacked
potatoes.
out putting corn on his mashed potatoes.
pretty
Well, I will say,
That is
Diggs,
delicious.
the thing that did affect our argument about the stuffing over the mashed potatoes is that just moments before that, we talked about how you're normally blacked out while eating the Thanksgiving dinner. So everything kind of tastes better.
I'm also a fan of starting Thanksgiving dinner at noon. So,
Hey,
not blacked out.
Hey, kind of right in the perfect spot. Kind of right. You're right. You're right. That's so everybody that was thinking that, get off it. How about that? Yeah, because I heard you just mentioned something, I think, about him not even remembering eating Thanksgiving dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it can't happen. He eats it
does.
at noon, dude. He eats it at noon.
Second
I take
win.
back my.
By the way,
take back my comment.
By the way, Diggs, happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
to you.
Thanksgiving.
Hey, let's enjoy this stuffing.
Let's enjoy it.
You know, I've been on keto for like a month or whatever. Tomorrow,
See ya.
it's a stuffing day, dude. Now, granted, maybe mashed potatoes too, because a lot of carbs and no. Somehow they have a lot of carbs with no flavor. Usually,
God.
the carbs bring the flavor.
God.
You know what I mean? Like that's why the keto diet is so difficult because. Most of the stuff, if you're not eating meat, there's really nothing with flavor because the carbs bring flavor. But potatoes, like, wait a fucking minute, I can do that for you, and just comes in with the mashed potatoes.
You ever seen The Martian? Guy had to put Vicodin on his potatoes to make it tolerable.
Yeah, and that's out of this world, dude.
He was living alone.
That's
He was-
out of this world. That's when he was dead. He was damn near dead, that guy.
Eat what you want. Just make sure before you sink your teeth into whatever you want, you thank for what he's done in these past 30 years.
Let's get to a break. We'll answer some phone calls on the other side. This is a big sports show. There's a lot of sports stuff to talk about. Get to that sidebar, please, Foxy.
Yes, sir.
Big Sale Friday sale still happening. Thanksgiving Day games. Harbaugh and Vrabel details. Oh, yeah, it's come out what was said between Harbaugh and Vrabel or whatever. Pretty much exactly what I said was said.
Yep.
I think. I mean, I obviously added a lot of words, okay, because I was just hoping that under this mask, because they were it taking all of us, they knew that, so we couldn't see what they were saying. They didn't say as much, but it was basically the similar thing.
I preferred your interpretation.
Song.
For this one.
Thankful for this.
Yeah. And this your man, Uncle Sam.
Boom.
I'm in my zone every day, every night.
Eating stuffing every night.
Shots about to get me right.
Uncle Sam with a K, by the way. UNKLESAMM. That's an absolute heater, obviously. Mike Glennon is starting for the Jaguars. The NFL playoff picture. College football playoff is out. I'm not happy about where they got the Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati Bearcats are undefeated, dominating people, have the right maturity on their team. They won last year. The year before that, the guys were getting started. It feels like this is a very similar case to UCF from years back. But in 2020, a lot of teams aren't playing full schedule, so maybe this was the year that a team like that could slip on in there. Cincinnati has that team, it feels like, a good team. They got athletic corners. They got a fast defense, so they'll be able to keep up, I think, with the good teams. Normally, the conversation revolves around whenever those Power 6 schools play against the Power 5 legit schools, they can't keep up because the players are just such better athletes. And I do believe that is probably pretty accurate in a lot of cases. This Cincinnati team, though, athletic squad. They are very athletic. It's very similar to the West Virginia team that I was on. Granted, they're built differently than us, and I'm not saying Desmond Ritter is Pat White, but we had a great athletic team. So we could keep up with Georgia when we beat Georgia, Oklahoma when we beat Oklahoma, because of how athletic we were. I think that same thing with Cincinnati. I think if they had a chance this year with this team to play against some good teams, I think they'd have a great showing. But they're ranked too low. They're never going to be able to make it up in there, which is kind of a bummer for Fickle and the boys over there in the state of Cincinnati. We got a lot of other stuff to talk about as well, including your phone calls. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6, about 30 minutes into hour one here on this thankful Wednesday, November 25th, 2020 on Sirius XM. We'll see you on the other side.
This is Remember the Titans. How's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. I do a lot of things. Today I am a professional analyst getting ready for the Thursday night football opener in beautiful Nippert Stadium with the Cincinnati Bearcats here at Higher Ground. This secluded world. Good squad, good place, excited for this morning practice. I'm obviously unbiased, but I'm pulling hard for Cincinnati to do well on Thursday night.
I like to say, I'll leave clipboard quarterback.
This is awesome.
And we got hopefully a future NFL kicker. Let's see what you got. Come on.
This is great for the brand. This guy's an athlete. Athlete.
Let's go. We'll find out. Let's go.
Heads up. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for hospitality. Have a great day.
Going in, I'ma close the case. I can't wait no more, man. I gotta blow today. I'ma blow today. I ain't hearing what they say. Need a blue face, I've been caring about a race. I've been trying to eat, I need more than just a taste. Now they trying to talk, oh no, they should know their place. Man, I'm ballin'. This ain't cap, baby, now I feel like calling. From the crowd, but I got the music poppin'. All the time, man, it started get obnoxious. Now I gotta drop, yeah, I'm feeling nauseous. Gotta drop top down, then I hop out. I've been feeling hot now.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just
Yeah, you got it.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you. This has been so cool to see. Whenever we were driving out here into the sticks, my boys and I from Indianapolis, we were told by Coach Fickle it was a 40-minute drive from where we live. absolute lie. Hour and a half out here. But as we were getting out here, we didn't know what we were going to show up to. And this is such a cool scene here. I remember whenever I was in college, we won a lot of games, beat Cincinnati a couple times. It was a great day. But I remember my boys, right? Like, I still am in touch with them every single day, every single week. We had this moment where we went from boys to become men. And you guys were a really young team last year, but got to experience a lot of wins. Like, now the expectation level are high. And I can't wait to talk you all up on Thursday night against UCLA. UCLA refused to respond to my tweet. So I am a Bearcat fan on that opening night, and I cannot wait to watch you guys dominate. And I think this is such a cool thing. Coach, I can't thank you enough for your hospitality. I got a bunch of swag from you guys, too. This has been a cool day. Enjoy this, though. This doesn't happen a lot. Even when you get into the NFL, it's not like college. It's not like your boys. It's not like this. It's a whole different world that you'll remember forever. And I was honored to be here to watch you today, and I can't wait to watch you guys go win the thing on Thursday night and then throughout the rest of the season.
You do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
I'm thankful this
Had to do it. Mike Allstott's joined us about 30 minutes. Spoil the shit out of your dog with BarkBox. 2 toys, 2 treats, and a chew. It starts as low as $22 a month for $60 worth of dog chews and toys. It's the best day of the month for our dogs is when their BarkBox arrives. My dogs love them.
Yeah, so do mine.
Treats, toys, everything that you could potentially want if you were a canine. And they know the box whenever it arrives. They know the smell of it. Dogs are so smart, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as that thing comes out, you sit and stare out the door. It's like, wait a minute. Is that for me? Oh, 2 treats, 2 toys, and a chew for me. BarkBox does never leave you lonely. Won't leave you lonely. 2 toys, 2 treats, and a chew, and that's not only. Fuck, I wish I could have got it. That would have been great. Anyways, join now and get an extra free toy in every single box. That's $60 worth of toys in a year for free. Sign up your pup and get unique toys and snacks, plus a free extra toy every single month. Tailored toys and treats ship free every single month. Start now and get $60 in free toys. Unique toys, USA-made treats, free monthly delivery, and $60 in free extra toys when you go to barkbox.com/Pat. Holiday season for your dog, too. Have it be Christmas or any of the holidays. Once a month for your dog with barkbox.com/Pat.
Hell yeah. Good time.
Welcome back to the show here. Don't Leave Me Lonely, late night special band there. Always brings a crowd to their feet. Let's roll through this sidebar a little bit. Big Sale Friday sale is happening. 20% off. Store.patmcafeeshow.com. That started last Friday. For every purchase that is made in there, you enter yourself. Not every purchase. Every
person that makes a purchase.
There it is. For every person that makes a purchase is automatically entered in to win one of our 3 PS5s we've got.
Wow! Come on.
Yeah. I mean, we might have put the cart before the horse a little bit. 2 of them have definitely been confirmed. The third one is still on its way.
Floating around.
But we will find a third one if we have to. I mean, they are findable. It's just how much you're going to get gouged for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And turns out people are gouging pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are gouging.
Good gouging.
Thanksgiving Day games, we'll talk about that. The biggest one right now is, now granted, Andy Dalton and the Cowboys taking on the Washington football team. I mean, that's a big game, okay? In the NFC East, who knows who's going to win that? Are the Cowboys the team that we thought they were, or are they the team that showed up against the Minnesota Vikings last weekend? Is Andy Dalton on a revenge tour after people in Dallas said that start Gary Gilbert over Andy Dalton? Andy Dalton gets his head knocked off, gets COVID, can't taste the damn thing, then comes back, gets a win against the Minnesota Vikings. Now he plays the Washington football team on Thanksgiving. I like the Cowboys in this one. And I also like what Tony Pollard's been doing. It feels like he's a real spark for the Cowboys. The Washington football team probably knows that. If I had to guess, they probably know that happened. But that game is obviously happening. Then the Lions. The Lions play against the Texans. Now, with the Lions playing the Texans, you have to ask yourself, who has more to gain on this primetime world-watching game? Is it J.J. Watt, who potentially wants out of Houston, and wants the world to know that he's still got it. Is it Deshaun Watson, who is now going to be the franchise? And J.J. Watt, by the way, we don't know if he wants out, by the way. He said he's not a part of a rebuild, so if they're not planning on rebuilding, which I don't know how they'll be able to rebuild, they don't have any money or draft picks. So maybe they're just, maybe they're currently in the... Maybe they're not rebuilding. They're just going to be where they're at right now next year. But anyways, let's say J.J. Watt potentially wants to leave. And if the Texans cut him, they get $17 million added to the cap. It's nothing against there. They can cut him after this year. J.J. Watt, primetime game. When the stars come out, when the lights come on, the stars come out. Primetime players make primetime plays in primetime games. I think J.J. Watt probably has a rather large game tomorrow. I think Deshaun Watson also has a rather large game tomorrow. And on the Lions side, you have to think, is Matthew Stafford, after getting shut out against the Carolina Panthers, now he's going to be on primetime television. He missed last year. Remember, we had Drew Blau, whatever it was. Is Matthew Stafford going to come in and show out and say, hey, somebody come rescue me from this entire existence of being a Lion? I mean, this is a tough one to judge. The Lions got shut out last week, lost 20-0 to P.J. Walker in his first start for the Carolina Panthers. But they have won games in the past that make you go, oh, they're a good team. In the Texans, it's like, can they be good tomorrow because it's on national television? Maybe. This is a tough one to pick, I think. This one has me very stumped. I would assume as a Lions fan, you think the Lions are going to win on Thanksgiving?
Yes, I do, Pat. If you would have asked me on Monday when the Lions literally came off the worst game I've ever watched in my life, I would have said they're dead, fire Patricia, fire Quinn, all this stuff. But after what Aaron Rodgers said about Matthew Stafford yesterday, you gotta love the Lions in this game. I mean,
so
you have to.
You
love
think
them.
the boys heard what Aaron Rodgers said?
Absolutely.
He heard Matt because the world's talking about that. By the way,
Yep.
What was said about Matthew Stafford by Aaron Rodgers on this show yesterday, alongside AJ Hawk? He said, you know who's been doing the no-look pass for a long time? It's a guy who wears number 9 in Detroit, and his arm angle's insane. So I think Aaron Rodgers just wanted to give a little love to Matthew Stafford because the Lions kind of disappear into irrelevancy like week -1 every single NFL season. So you don't even know anything about Matthew Stafford unless you pay attention to Lions like we were forced to because Foxy is here. You really quickly realize like, oh, okay, Stafford's very good at football, but he just has no chance up there because there's so many curses hitting the Lions. So you think potentially Aaron Rodgers also expanding that shine onto the Lions a little bit. You think that offense comes out and balls out for Matthew Stafford? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think this is like a farewell game, right? We have nothing to play for at this point. Stafford's probably going to leave after this season. Patricia's going to be gone. GM's going to be gone, and the boys are going to be like, all right, Matthew, this one's for you.
This one's for Matt. That's awesome. That one's a tough one. For me, I really like the Cowboys tomorrow, and I think I'm even trying to put together a Super Boost. And even though the Super Boost have been a bit chilly, they're going to get hot on Thanksgiving, just like the stuffing that comes out of a turkey and tastes more delicious than any other side that's available there all by itself. What are you going to say, Tom?
The Lions are 3-1 when Kenny Golladay plays, 1-5 when he doesn't. It doesn't look good for him playing this week.
Shit. Matthew Stafford was sacked like 6 times last game, too. So I'm very nervous about J.J.
He has a broken thumb, too.
Yeah. J.J. had a great game against the Pats, like 5 pass deflections or whatever, his swats. He's hot.
Yeah, so Foxy's on the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, we're home game, Thanksgiving, underdogs.
Yeah, Texans, baby.
All right, let's take some phone calls here. And then the Steelers-Ravens. Who even knows if that game's going to happen with how many Ravens are out? But with all the Ravens that are out, you automatically go, well, the Steelers are going to win this game. But the Steeler fans here, Nick and Diggs, were like, not so fast, man, okay? We won this game against the Ravens when the Ravens were really good. With who at quarterback? You had
Chuck Batch.
Charlie Batch won one of these games at quarterback without Ben Roethlisberger.
Byron Leftwich, I think, won one down there, too.
The offense coordinator for the Buccaneers won one for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, not this. Michael Vick, I believe, won a game potentially for the Steelers against the Ravens. So I'm not saying Michael Vick deserves to be in that conversation right there because Michael Vick was an unbelievable football player whenever he was playing football. Unbelievably, we all understand that. He threw a goddamn Nerf ball out of the fucking stadium and the thing whistled the entire way out. What was that thing?
The Vortex.
The Vortex. That thing hurts so bad to play catch.
Oh, God.
It was like lawn darts, dude. Yeah, throwing that Vortex ball was like lawn darts, but it could move.
And you could sometimes smack it and light it up at night and really chuck it around.
And that thing would whistle. I mean, that would, if you got it going down, it was coming in really nice there. So I'm not saying that, but this game, legitimate, like, throw the records out the window. It does feel like the Ravens Steelers will continue to be that strictly because Harbaugh and Tomlin know each other so well.
Steelers know what they're doing. The Ravens don't stand a chance. They're screwed.
They're dead.
They're dead.
You think the Ravens are dead?
They don't care about football. They forgot about how it takes all of us. They're done with it. Their running backs are out. And you mentioned, what about contact tracing? I believe the Ravens-Titans game, there's a little rain. So we know with COVID, when it rains, that actually dismantles the contact tracing. So the ones who got it, it's because they went out after the game, probably to a Jimmy Seafood.
They probably think
they had a little too much fun. They don't care anymore. They're dead. And the Steelers are going to roll them.
And I got a tweet from Jimmy's, you know what I mean? And yeah, you guys got the greatest crab cakes I've ever had in my life. Okay?
Terrible team.
You got great food, all right? Cool. We get it.
We
all right?
get it.
It's a good time there, too. It's not just an incredible restaurant. You also turn that place into a club somehow, and it works. Normally, that doesn't work for those types of places. We get it. But you guys brought down the whole goddamn Ravens organization with how much of a good time you guys are. And you got the Ravens players in there trying to have a good time and drink away the loss to the Titans in overtime. They're having these crab cakes. Oh, these are so good. You know, it's starting to the steak is so good. Okay.
Thank you.
And then they're like, hey, give me a hug, you. I've never seen before. You got COVID? Come on in. That's what's
we
going on.
don't care.
It's because Jimmy's brings people together. That's what it does.
Too well.
Which, by the way, can't have that in
Can't be doing
2020.
it. Can't be doing it around this time.
Ever. Maybe ever again.
Especially Thanksgiving.
Jimmy's crab cakes are
so good.
And well, now it seems they are too good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Destroy the goddamn team. And with that being said, the Steelers will probably beat the Ravens by, 2 touchdowns.
I know. I felt that very early, and I was actually going to make that a massive super boost for me is the Steelers. I was actually going to do an alternate spread.
Whoa, yes!
I was going to do Steelers alternate spread -10.
Ooh, 13.5.
And Diggs stopped what he was doing. I was on the phone. I was like, I was talking to the FanDuel people. I was like, I think the boost I want is maybe Steelers alternate spread, and I see Tone stop what he's doing. He stops walking, and I go -10, and Tone just turns, slowly turns to me, and just goes so disappointed, and he just looks at me like, "Come the fuck on, man! Don't do that to the Steelers right now. We are hot. This would be a great game to win." But I agree with you. I'm not going to make it the Super Boost because Super Boost, we need to have a win, okay? And I might have been getting a bit careless with the teasers, with 3 different teams having to show up, and we're in the middle of the season, all that stuff. We need to win. I'm going with the Cowboys and a Tony Pollard touchdown, I think.
Ooh,
I think that's what's going to be. And the boost, by the way, is very large.
Yeah.
Very, very large. So it should be pretty good. I just feel good about that. The Steelers one, growing up, watching the Steelers play the Ravens, it is always a very weird game. They're weird games, okay? They're going to fight each other. There's going to be something big that's going to happen. I don't know if this is the same Ravens team, though. Now, they think about it. Same Ravens teams of the past that would fight the Steelers. The Tennessee Titans come on. By the way, without a helmet, Malcolm Butler had on. I watched that video back. He didn't even have a helmet. So if he thought there was potentially going to be something that was going to happen, you'd think he would have a helmet on. Nothing happens. Harbaugh obviously goes out there. Vrabel comes out. It has come out now that Vrabel basically told him to go coach, and Harbaugh said it's disrespectful. And Vrabel goes, "Will you tell him to go coach?" He's telling the ref basically it's disrespectful. Tell him to coach again. Go coach. Against disrespectful. That was kind of the give and take or whatever. So it's very interesting, that whole thing. But the old Ravens teams, that I think you guys are referring to with the Steelers in your conversation about that, the old Ravens teams would have been out there, and if they saw a guy without a helmet, he's potentially getting, at least a right hand immediately upon that thing with a push, like a fake push right hand there. Now, it might be a completely different Ravens team. We don't know what they are.
Yeah, I mean, T-Sizzle's at the 50-yard line if this is...
yeah.
Imagine Ray. I mean...
Yeah. What do you mean?
We don't have to. We don't have to.
I'd rather not.
We've seen...
What? You guys don't need to fucking relax.
Well,
bro.
I mean, look.
Jury. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Went to a jury.
This is America, huh?
Yeah, he went to a jury, dude.
It's America.
Let's go to Joseph in California. What's going on? I watched that Showtime show, Inside the NFL.
Yeah.
How was it?
He's on there. Brandon Marshall, Sims' dad, and
Phil.
The other guy. Host, great host. God damn it.
Dance?
No, that's play-by-play.
James Brown.
I think it is.
James. Yeah.
James
Oh,
Brown,
yeah.
Awesome show, by the way.
It is a good show.
I watched it last night. It is an awesome show. And I think I haven't watched it in like a year or two. I watched it last night. It was a good show.
What do they do? Just mics?
The mic'd up segments,
Yeah.
they tell a story, then they react, then they throw a football around to each other.
Ooh.
They're wearing great suits, a great studio. It's on Showtime. They could probably swear. I think they don't, though.
Mike Irvin's on there, too?
I don't. Not last night. He
Used
wasn't.
to be.
Joseph, what do you want to talk about, bud? Sorry about that.
No, it's all right, Pat. What's going on? I hope you and the boys are having a good Wednesday.
Hell yeah, Joseph. Thankful Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say I'm thankful for you guys. You guys help me out every day, 3 hours while I'm fucking floating gears out here in California, so I'm thankful for that.
Hey! We appreciate it. Hey, you got a bogey up there on the left now. We appreciate you greatly, bub. I've been floating gears since I was like 14, 15 years old in the old man's truck. You know what I mean? I can kind of float them if I have to do it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I also ran my face into the side of one. Yeah, on a bicycle. No, Tim McAfee put me out there in the side yard, and I was going in circles. I felt like I was pretty good, and then I said, might as well go down the front hill, which is basically a cliff. And turns out I didn't have the brakes figured out. Right into the side of the truck. Yeah, that's why this nose is the way it is, literally, I think, because of that.
Really?
Yeah, old Sally McAfee did the old jump from the porch down there, grab. Oh, my God, is he dead?
Nice.
Yeah, the whole thing. I got back on that bike, though. Don't you?
Worked out.
Yeah, I had to do it. Anyways, Joseph, what's going on, bub?
Pat, I had a question about wrestling. I know it's a big wrestling show, and I know you're in wrestling. I want to know if there's anybody from the past that you could have wrestled alongside with, who would it be and why?
What? I think me and old Steve Austin would be a hilarious little tag team there.
But today...
even every day, I think would have been good. You know what I mean? If I was in D-Generation X, would have been cool to be a part of, obviously, because you just can, just walk around telling people to suck it all the time. I mean, I pretty much was a part of D-Generation X in school, which wasn't always well received, by the way, by a lot of people. I don't think everybody was necessarily wrestling fans that were supervisors and stuff at school, which is wild. So they didn't fully understand what you were doing, but I feel like I was part of it. Maybe, if I could have rode in the car with Bill Moody, which is Paul Bearer and Undertaker one time, I think I would have learned a lot about life in those cars. Awesome as well.
Yeah, the Ministry of Darkness, you would fit right in.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
There's Bill Moody right there, Paul Bearer. That was awesome. What's up, Diggs?
Eric Ebron and Devlin Hodges, Doc Hodges, just both tweeted that this is bullshit.
Oh, so the game's getting moved. All right, so right here? Yep. It is currently 12:48 Eastern Standard Time on this thankful Wednesday, November 25th, 2020. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We hope you have a great holiday, and we hope you do it in an incredibly safe fashion. When you eat the turkey, go ahead and grab that stuffing before anything else because it's better than every other option on the table. Don't even think about mashed potatoes because mashed potatoes aren't good unless you put everything that's good on top of it. The mashed potatoes were good about 100 years ago. They have evolved. We are appreciative of them, but if you grab the mashed potatoes before the stuffing, you are a stooge. Now, while you're eating that food, or maybe you're potentially in a coma coming out of eating that food from earlier in the day, a game that was supposed to be played is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. That game is happening in Pittsburgh. That is an AFC North matchup where people battle each other, and it is very, very grind and pound, tough football game. Pittsburgh Steelers undefeated coming into this game. Earlier in the year, they were forced to take an early bye week whenever COVID hit the Tennessee Titans. Now, on this Thursday night game, Thanksgiving game, with a hot Steelers team, the Baltimore Ravens have at least 5 players that have tested positive for COVID. 2 players from the Pittsburgh Steelers named Duck Hodges, who is most famous for
registering people to vote,
and Eric Ebron, who's a tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both have tweeted that this is bullshit. There has been rumors that the game is potentially going to be postponed because of the COVID outbreak in the Baltimore Ravens facility. Will it get moved to Sunday? Will it get moved to Monday, Tuesday? Will they have a week 18? Will they do other things? There's a lot of potential outcomes here, and we will continue to update as the news comes in. And we must add in that we are only saying that this game is potentially postponed because 2 members of a team that would be potentially getting fucked here have tweeted that this is bullshit.
Wow.
This is wild.
These motherfuckers,
Damn.
dude.
18 playoff on both sides.
It's going to happen. This is this.
I mean, you're still not in, so don't.
You
fucking
saw,
sign.
But it's not about that. Steelers aren't going to get a bye now.
You heard the New England Patriots fan in the middle of that start celebrating and pumping his hand, celebrating. That's because the NFL has had a conversation that if a week 18 is needed, they will also add one other team in each conference into the playoffs, making it a 16-team playoff, 8 per each side. This year, they upped it from 6 to 7. Now they're going from 7 to 8 because of the potential postponements and games having to matter at the end of the season. The Pittsburgh Steelers now, even if they were to go undefeated, would not have a bye week after it, or they would have a home playoff game after having their bye week in week 4 of the season. all odds are stacked against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and things are only getting worse if this game is officially postponed off of Thanksgiving. Okay, so we have breaking news now. Diana Rossini, she announced the Titans postponement, I do believe. She was of ESPN, at Diana ESPN. The Steelers and Ravens game, which was scheduled for Thanksgiving night, has been moved to Sunday per source. So, this is bullshit, says Duck Hodges into Eric Ebron. Pittsburgh Steelers fan at Tony Meatball Diggs over there. He's not happy about it. Now there's a potential Week 18, which was a week that the NFL had considered adding in there in case there was no other games to be able to be moved or be not. They're doing this on Sunday. Okay, here we go. The Week 18, not alive yet. Not alive yet. Cleveland Browns had a positive this morning, though. Maybe there'll be oh, no. Buckle up. This season is going to get very, very good. Confirming previous reports, Ian Rappaport at Rap Sheet, the Ravens-Steelers game previously set for Thursday night is being postponed to Sunday afternoon, the first in several weeks. Here we go, dude.
This is fucking John Harbaugh, that piece of shit, dude.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he cries about Vrabel. He cries about fucking everything. Not too bad for a running back. We have running back, quarterback stinks. That's why they moved the game. They had to give him a couple extra days to try to make this a fucking competitive advantage game.
Wow.
Fucking bullshit.
That's over an
Put in the fucking 10 points.
I'm with
Put in the
Tony.
alternate line.
Lock in the Steelers at whatever it's at right now. They're taking the Ravens out back on Sunday.
I would like to let you know, though, that we thought this was potentially going to happen to the Tennessee Titans. They couldn't practice. The Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders, they couldn't practice. They come out and play good football, by the way.
Yeah.
Ravens won't be able to practice all week, no matter who's in or who's out, right? All 5 players probably not going to be able, and I assume there's going to be more. So they won't be able to practice going into Sunday. The only thing that sucks is the Pittsburgh Steelers now, not only did they be forced into a bye week that they didn't know was a bye week until Friday of the bye week, okay, early because the Tennessee Titans week 4. Now they've they didn't even have a Tuesday off this week.
No.
Very interesting. Everyone else in the league gets COVID. Well, we're not postponing the game. We'll do everything we can to keep playing the game. Yeah. Now all of a sudden we got to move games around. It's bullshit.
Oh, Steelers fans are not happy. That is wild.
This game's getting moved again, too. It's getting moved
Monday
again.
or Tuesday. And then the Steelers are going to have to play a 4.
Yeah. Not to mention, now we got to watch 2 shit games on Thanksgiving. We don't even get to watch good teams play football.
That does stink. That does, yeah, exactly. Diggs will be blacked out probably now, even earlier than normal on Thanksgiving.
Probably soon as this fucking show's over.
This is that stinks.
Brutal.
Listen, first of all, we hope everybody survives.
Of course.
Okay?
Health is wealth.
I didn't hear a lot of that out of Tone or out of Nick right there.
No, they don't care.
Did you hear any potential thought about any of these Ravens players dying? Okay.
Fuck 'em.
Huh?
Fuck them.
It's a rivalry, baby.
Diggs, that is not. We hope they survive.
No, it's fine. The denominator says so.
No, shit.
He's got a point. He's got a point. Listen.
No, I can't do it.
He's got a point.
Can't do it.
And the Ravens not only are screwing up this game, this is going to screw up their bye. The Ravens are the ones now who are going to fuck the Steelers out of a bye.
It's wild. It's great. Hey, I watch that Queen's Gambit.
Oh,
this is the Sicilian close.
It is.
This is the close Sicilian. I mean, this is battling it out with the Knights, though. You're battling it with the Knights in the middle of the board here. This is high level thinking by old Harbaugh.
Yeah, can't beat him on the field. Got to resort to chemical warfare. Real nice.
Got his breed virus over here.
Jeez Louise. Jeez. That does stink, though. Now, listen, we hope everybody survives, okay?
For sure.
Of course.
But that stinks for the holiday.
Big time.
We got Lions, Texans, Cowboys football team. This is old school Thanksgiving football. Only 2 teams wanted to play on Thanksgiving every year, and now they've turned it into a complete market mess. Cowboys, Lions, Thanksgiving football. It's all you need. The NFL has officially released a statement saying the Ravens and Steelers have been moved to Sunday afternoon. The decision was made out of an abundance of caution to ensure the health and safety of players. See? That's what Diggs doesn't get.
Health and safety.
That's what the Shield has to think about, is the health and safety.
Well, they should have worried about their own health and safety when they were out at Jimmy's Seafood partying. Okay?
Well, the interesting thing there would be, a lot of players would say, well, you're caring about the health and safety of the players, obviously in this case, but we're playing on Thursday, which is only 3 games of rest in week 12. So, well, ponder that. Hour 1's wrapping up. Hour 2 will be joined by Mike Allstar. Yeah! We got about 6 minutes on this Wednesday. Go take a shit. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long, and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, you know, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
There's a grown man with face paint on. So you're Big Nut.
I am, and you're Little Nut.
Well, I've had a few of those in my life. Hey, I'll tell you what, Big Nut. I hope to find you one day on my wedding night. Big Nut!
Little Nut!
You did a great job, too. The lines are straight. No DUI problem there. You're really doing a great job here, sir. Hey, Big Nut, I love everything you're about, bud.
Because we are going to win the game.
He just spit in my mouth while saying that.
The most likely team to make the college football playoff is the team that is in Columbus.
He said khakis are way too close to that team from up north. If you don't put black pants on right now, you're going to get booed out of Columbus. So I went with the black. Makes me look thin. And whenever I say 2 letters, the place goes crazy. OH! Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie George. That offense, though, led by Justin Fields. He has 41 touchdowns accounted for, only 1 turnover. I don't know how he isn't the Heisman favorite right now.
Well, he certainly has a chance to make a stick at that today, certainly next week.
He's supposed to be in Penn State native Lion. And Mike McQueary told me I wasn't Penn State material. Okay, Herbie was your quarterback. He was a senior. You were a freshman. What was he like as a teammate?
Oh, he was great, man. Big shoulder pads. Kurt could run for days back in the day.
One, she wants to flex on the gram. He says, lady, we are getting slaughtered by the Pittsburgh Penguins. No.
Do I do it too? I feel like I need to do this.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 2 of the Pat McAfee Show here on Sirius XM, Channel 82. On this thankful Wednesday, November 25th, 2020 begins right now. Great beat drop by Twine there. Kind of bummed, to be honest.
Yeah.
During the break there, went out into the office, did a couple laps, had to walk around, really take it in, had a conversation, and I just put out a tweet about it, and this is going to sound dramatic, okay? I understand this is going to sound very dramatic, and people are going to attack me for this thought. America needed Ravens-Steelers tomorrow night.
Big time.
Needed it. That game was going to be awesome. Think about the Thanksgiving, maybe at that particular point, something was maybe going to pop off between old uncle and nephew, maybe something was going to go down, and it's like, excuse me, there's two teams that are going to play old school smash mouth football with each other. They're going to beat the hell out of each other. It's going to be a great football game, and there's a lot on the line for this. Let's go ahead and take a moment to put our swords aside and watch these two try to kill each other.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? In an
Hell
AFC
yeah.
North match, we needed that. And if there's anything to make me feel better coming off of that, obviously, it'd be a conversation with a man that I dreamed of talking to for a long, long time ever since we started this show. A man who epitomizes basically what football is. Born and raised in Chicago, went to Purdue, got drafted to Tampa Bay, even though he was allegedly supposed to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Goes down to Tampa, becomes an absolute legend, changing the game completely. He had a neck roll and combat boots on when he played. Ladies and gentlemen, absolute monster, freak athlete, Mike Allstott. What's up, man?
What's up, Pat? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, we watched your highlights this morning for like 30 minutes. I absolutely forgot about them calling you the A-Train. It was awesome. Such a great description of the way you played. Do you ever go back and watch them? I would assume that you don't because you're probably not just, so self-indulged, but I would recommend it to you and everybody else. Your highlights are awesome to watch.
No, I know. I don't. I'm watching high school football. That's what I do now. So I watch a lot of film on coaching high school football. So that's all I do.
Yeah, I heard you got a big game coming up, by the way. Good luck. What are we in? We're in the championship? What is it? What do we got going on?
Quarterfinals, round 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're coaching. Trent Dilfer, who we watched some highlights of him throwing you the ball. He's high school coaching up there. Phillip Rivers has already signed to be a high school coach. It seems like a lot of NFL guys are getting into the high school coaching ranks. Why made you want to do that? Did you always want to coach, or is it just like something you thought, you know what, I should give back to the game here at the high school level?
I had no desire to coach. I wanted to watch my son and my daughters grow up and be a spectator, and I got involved because I really didn't feel comfortable with the average volunteer dad coaching and not knowing what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? So that's how I got involved, and then my son was like, "Hey, if you're not coaching, I'm not playing." And I'm like, "All right, I'm in." And it's been 12 years, 13 years ever since. So, and I've been head coach here at the school I'm at for the last 9 years. Sorry about my voice, but I just came off the practice field.
Yeah.
Yelling.
Yeah, sometimes you got to let them have it. Listen, that's, by the way, I love that thought. I am not a father yet, obviously. We'll see how that goes with the world. I probably shouldn't reproduce because one is enough of me, but I could see myself whenever my kid is at a practice or something and he comes home, and I'm like, what you learn at practice? And he says something. I'm like, they told you what now? Okay.
Exactly.
Is exactly what happened, I'd assume?
No, exactly. I wasn't at home. I was sitting in a lawn chair, right, with my Yeti, right, and just sitting there chilling, and they're all in a 3-point stance, and the coach is going around kicking out their hand, seeing if they have all the weight on their front hand, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here right now, right? And so one thing transpired after another, and it was like, all right, I'm in. And I've been in ever since. And I love it. It's given me my fix since football, because obviously I'm just so passionate, love it so much, and I was kind of lost for a little bit, and it's kind of given me that that fix as far as when it comes to football, the game. This game's given me so much, and I love coaching the kids, and they play hard for me, and I coach them. I give tough love, and they know that, and it's been great. It's been really a blessing for me in this journey so far.
Listening to you talk, whenever I assume they probably retired your number or put you in the Hall of Fame or something down there in Tampa Bay, and they did this entire piece where they were interviewing you, and you had great tan, by the way. I mean, it was a great tan. You had a polo on. It was a great shot. They did and you were talking about your plays, and they were asking you about certain plays, whether it was the Super Bowl 3rd and 1 goal line, where you said that your entire life you've been working for this moment. There was no way you weren't going to score, and obviously you did. You guys win by like 20-something and win the Super Bowl. It's awesome. But you talked about your style of play and how a lot of it was instinctual, right? You were like, for some reason, I could just bounce it out or whatever. You had great instincts for the game. How do you teach that? Is that something you just hope that guys can pick up, your high school kids can pick up? Or how do you think you got to the point where your instincts, because you were, by the way, everybody remembers you for being a bruiser, like Mike Allstott. You think of Mike Allstott, people think of the pictures of that big-ass neck roll that you wore in the boots and everything. But if you watch the highlights, which we did literally 30 minutes of them earlier, your lateral quickness was unbelievable. It seemed like your decision-making was next level as well. You were a fool. How do you kind of instill that into your high school kids whenever a lot of it is instincts and stuff like that?
Preparation. We talk about lateral. I mean, you work on all that stuff. You get your body used to those type of movements, off-season, training, whatever. But right now, in season, it's all mental preparation. You've already done the physical, you've already prepared yourself physically, right? You put your body through so much torture and stuff like that, and you prepared yourself for that. But now, preparation mentally, and I'm a big advocate of film. We show our kids, we film practice, we show our kids what they're doing wrong, what they're not, because they can't translate, words and how to do it in the way, if we all been an athlete in some sort of way, at a high level, we understand the lingo. And some of these kids don't, so you have to show them what they're doing wrong through film. And so I'm a big component of that. Like today I had have a practice, did film in the morning. Did practice in the morning, offense in the morning. And then I brought my quarterbacks in here while defense is going on, so we can get some film in so they can understand what I just installed and stuff like that. So that's what I've been successful at. And I prepared a lot during my professional days and understanding when they do this, they're going to do that. And when they do that, they're going to do this. So that's how I've come, from my aspect, successful.
Were you an obsessive film studier whenever you were playing?
As a fullback and as a running back, I didn't have to know coverages and stuff like that. All I had to know is the safeties tell you everything, right? So if the safeties roll down, this guy's going to blitz. Obviously I had to prepare myself for the blitzes to protect my quarterback and my offensive lineman. So that was kind of like what I have been trained to do in my life, is where the safeties will tell you everything that's going to happen in a defensive scheme. So I studied that and understood how to take on my different linebackers and then go from there.
You would just bury people. And obviously the commentators say the most cliche things of all time, and they're like, when the A train gets into space, he's not looking for space, he's looking for another jersey to bury. As a fullback, like, that is something you have to legitimately love, huh? It's just it's going to be me imposing my will on you type mindset.
Everybody always asks me, who's the hardest hitter, right? And I'm like, I can't stand that question. It's like, what? My instincts was always to bring the punishment in the pad level to the point of attack, right? To the point of attack, and I always get initiate, and that was my game plan.
Do you think right now you would run for 150 yards every single game, or do you think it would be different? Because it feels like with the defense now, it's a lot of Mike Allstott's almost. They're kind of smaller and faster, but I feel like your type of running style, Derrick Henry's had a lot of success. I mean, Derrick Henry has had a lot of success, and I'm not saying you and him are the same type of runners. I think you're different, but both very good. How do you think your game would translate to today's style of football?
Kind of when I was in my tail end of my career, Gruden and like San Francisco and like Derrick Henry, Tennessee, they're coming back with the bigger backs. Like Gruden was like kind of weeding out the bigger back situation, going to more of the rocket scheme. You know what I mean? 2 halfbacks in a game at the same time and getting rid of the pounding, attack. And we've seen, if you're successful as of Tennessee and Derrick Henry, you run downhill, you're going to wear out a team. That's what we did Friday night. When I was playing, we ran downhill in the third and fourth quarter, and it's very successful. And if it doesn't work, you're still putting a punishment on them, right? And I really feel that the running game is the most important thing. It sets up everything, and if it doesn't, you're pounding and wearing on those guys until third and fourth quarter, and that's when the big plays come.
I think we all just had a thought real quickly about what a high school football team that was coached by Mike Allstott would look like. Just the thought of hey, we're coming right at you every single snap. This is what it's going to be. Every single snap, we are coming for it. That is just...
Don't get me wrong. I am a spread, but we have our different big packages. You know what I mean? I am a spread and trips. The reason I got into being a head coach, I just didn't like the way other systems being ran. I coached at high school before. And so I got into design my own system and do different things. And my son was actually a quarterback for me for 4 years. And he went to Purdue for a year and then went and is finishing up at Western Michigan now. But I got into that spread in the passing game and everything. But we do have our big packages. We're going to come downhill. We're gonna annihilate you. I mean, that's the mindset we have. I mean, I have my left tackle 6'7". My left guard is 6'3". My center 6 foot. I have a 6 foot guard and another 6'3" for the tackle. So on the right.
Can you guys beat Western Michigan right now? Can your high school team take on the team's unbelievable, huh?
No, we're not unbelievable. They're all young. I mean, again, remember we're talking high school, but they are getting better and they are understanding what an offensive line has to be. They have to be physical first, right? Come downhill, establish the running game, and we're teaching it. Don't get me wrong, we have our weaknesses in different aspects, but again, we have that's our teaching. We love to teach downhill football.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would assume. Connor, what do you got?
A-Train, in that NFL Films thing, it said you would watch Walter Payton growing up. Now that you're a coach, do you try and emulate Gruden and Dungy, who you had in Tampa, or you try and combine the two almost?
Dungy and Gruden, night and day. Night and day. I mean, you talk about just night and day. Let me stay there. And but again, both are great coaches. Both have their different types of styles of coaching. And maybe I have both a little bit. And you're right. When I'm thinking back on it, I never really thought about it. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy.
I put my arms around the kids. I try to be their mentor. Try to be a father figure for them. And that's kind of like Dungy does. Straight and treats you as a man, hold you accountable, respect. Be respectful. In a lot of different ways, and then Gruden, he's a feisty, little guy, and he'll try to, very wordy, and I will get, vocal in a way of motivating, but at the same time it's like, hey, I expect a lot from you. It's kind of like one of those cliches is, all right, if I'm not yelling at you or coaching you or talking in a way that, that we're going to be challenged, then, and I have never done this, but the thing is, I always say it, right? Then there's something wrong. Then you should be worried. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you don't talk,
that.
I heard that a lot, by the way, when I was getting yelled at by everybody. It was pretty. It was a lot of fun. Hey, whenever I stop yelling at you, that means something's wrong. It's like,
right.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. But I'll continue to get chewed out if you want me to. I mean, let's go ahead and do it. So whenever you played, and you talked about preparation and torturing your body, I believe you gave it an answer, actually. I think that was actually what you said, torture your body. What were your workouts like? Because in those highlights, and I assume this video is going to get a lot more views after today because of how much we've been hyping it up, and I want to let you know, it'll be worth the watch.
Yeah.
Yep. Your highlight, the NFL Films package that they put together, fucking unbelievable to watch. But your legs were, what was your workouts like? You just killed yourself, huh? All year you were just, hey, I'm going to go ahead and torture every muscle in my body?
I had unique workouts. When I was growing up, I ran a lot of hills. I ran a lot of stairs. Did numerous things. When I was in high school, I pulled tires in my backyard. When I was in high school, I pushed my buddy's station wagon, and we pushed it, in the cornfields where we grew up, right on the outside of town, from telephone to telephone pole. There, 100 yards. We would push them, crank on AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, and whatever,
hell yeah,
and push it, and put in neutral. He would steer, I'd push, I'd steer, he'd push, and we would just take this thing all the way down for, I don't know how far, but it was just, and then I brought that to college, where probably you read about it, maybe not, but, pushed my Jeep in the parking lot, where the band practice was marked off 100 yards. Just, creative stuff like that I thought it was important, you know what I mean? To do it, in the weight room all the time. I've always been just that overachiever, hard worker, trying to get her done, from up north, trying, get it done type of guy. And, just working hard and had heart and just wanted to play at the high level. And when I got to that highest level after I was drafted, I just didn't want to be there. I wanted to be the best, and I wanted to help my team in every fashion possible. And, just stuff like that, and had great people around me, great coaches, great players, and again, great people that helped me get to where I needed to get to.
So you were first one in, last one out, coach's son, high motor, crafty, sneaky athletic, lunch pail type of guy, hard hat type of guy.
Yeah, lunch pail type of guy, right. You know what I mean? I didn't have all the skill. I had to create that skill. You know what I mean? I had to make sure my craft, I bring my lunch pail to work every day. All right, and figure it out. Get her done.
You are the best dude on earth, man. The boys here and I, we're so incredibly excited to chat with you, man. We can't thank you enough for taking time. Hope the boys go get it.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Anytime, let me know. I'd love to be on again.
I'm going to take you up on that offer. I hope you know that.
No, seriously, let me know, brother. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
A guy you will hear from again, I assume relatively soon, one of the greatest humans to ever exist, the A-Train, Mike Allstott. Thank you. Good luck.
Hey, man, hey to all you. Happy Thanksgiving, man, all right?
Oh, hey, happy Thanksgiving to you, man. The Ravens-Steelers got canceled, so, maybe Thanksgiving gets canceled, too. I'm not 100% sure.
Right? Seems like it anyway, right, in this world.
A-Train, you ain't never lied, pal. All right. Thank you, Mike.
All right, brother.
All right, see you, Coach. So we got the Atrian on again, it sounds like?
Yeah, the head coach of the national championship high school team in Florida.
Oh, they're national champs?
They will be after this year.
Yeah.
Losing.
6'7" tackle.
Come on.
6'8" guard, 6'3" on the other side, he said. Oh, my God. Hey, I mean, could that have gone any other? That went exactly how we thought.
He's exactly who I expected.
He's
him to be.
pushing Jeeps in the things.
Cornfields.
Station wagons, telephone pole to telephone pole. I mean, he's the man.
What did you talk about it last week? Like people like, oh, if I just didn't have that knee injury, I'd be in the pros.
Yeah.
Or you pushing cars down the.
Yeah, were you Ike Taylor's kid is what runs a mile every single morning and does 100 push-ups before he even eats breakfast before his high school. It's like, yeah, I understand a coach probably screwed you. Okay, I understand that. But were you potentially putting yourself in the greatest position to potentially succeed, not get screwed? That is the question that should be asked. And I'd assume you have, but others I'm talking about, not just you, others. Yeah, I mean, Mike Alston, what a guy. I'm so happy we had that conversation with him. Which is the football guy. Look up the NFL Films thing. If you have time today, you should. By the way, actually tomorrow, Ravens-Steelers game's canceled.
Yeah,
we got a replacement. We got a replacement for the Ravens-Steelers. Go ahead and go to, I don't know what the title is. What did we watch? What was the name of that thing, Nick?
I don't know exactly. It was an NFL throwback, though. So just type in NFL throwback Mike Allstott.
It was like 20 minutes long, it felt like. And then that leads obviously into the way YouTube does. It's like, all right, here we go. Now you're in a wormhole of Mike Allstott. And we were all the way in there. Yeah, we were. We were kind of like, we were like the Jamaican bobsled team whenever we were figuring out how to go down the goddamn hill on that wheelie one that didn't have the brakes and they ended up. That's what we were going down the wormhole. Like, oh my God, he did what? I can't. Some of the shit he did, it was unbelievable. Owen Schmidt at West Virginia, after watching the Mike Allstott. When I was watching Mike Allstott highlights, I saw a lot of Owen Schmidt there, and I was like, first of all, super pumped that I got a chance to relive some Mike Allstott highlights, and then also while doing that, I felt like I was watching some Owen Schmidt highlights as well. The big bruiser, just lunch pail guys.
Yeah.
Who were like, look, we were the Ryan Fitzpatricks, but at fullback. You know what I mean? Like the guys who will run their face into a fan to win a football game. Does not matter. They will do it. There's not a lot of those anymore, and mostly because science has been telling everybody you should not do that. But Mike Allstott's about to lead a national championship high school team. He was awesome to watch, man. Scared of nothing. For good reason, by the way. For good reason.
Could you imagine being that Pop Warner coach kicking out kids' hands on a three-point stance and
Mike Allstott's
watching him
with his Yeti? So he said he was going to launch out of the Yeti, so he's got a beer.
Shaking his head.
He's got his foot up on the Yeti, okay? Just hanging out, probably sunglasses on. And he's watching these three-point stance. He's got his beer, cracks it open, he's drinking it. He kicks the first person's hand. You see his hand. Excuse me? Does it again and again. All right. Go. Calm down. Get the fuck away from my child. I didn't even think about that, by the way. And I assume that's why a lot of these NFL guys are getting into coaching.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like the more and more people we talk to, the more and more high school coaches are coming from the NFL, which, by the way, good for the game.
Great for the game.
Great for the game for high school kids to have NFL coaches because they've been there with the recruiting process, too, so you know if you're getting screwed or not. The business side of it, now, granted, the social media aspect of it is something that maybe the next generation of NFL guys that go back and coach high school football. But I like that a lot of NFL guys are going back and doing that. It's good for the game. Great for the game. Now, they're not going to get paid. And I would assume a lot of those guys at some point are going to realize that and be like, okay, we got to do something to get paid here at some point. But it is great for the game. The NFL had a big high school football initiative, I think, a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, they pushed something. I forget.
They used to always show the highlights on Sunday night games. They would go on location to like a high school football game every week. I remember them doing that on NBC.
And I think there was like a high school national football coach of the week. That was there was like a big high school football coach initiative. I know at the Colts, they would bring in all the high school coaches in the state. A couple practices a year or something like that. It was always a big thing. I like the NFL trying to dive into like high school football because that's where you can teach a lot of habits, by the way. And I would assume the NFL has seen some things coming that has been happening. They're like, we got to reteach some stuff here. Potential offensive line play. I would assume big physical football right there. Mike Allstott. Whenever you're playing a Mike Allstott coach football team, hey, you're in for a long day.
Strap up.
You are in for a long day. Let's get to a break, then we'll get some phone calls. Man, that was awesome. That was really cool.
Legend.
Great conversation.
He's calling us from what, his dungeon to at the high school?
Oh, yeah.
Coming off the practice field.
Yeah, sorry about the voice. I just got done letting my 3 technique know that ain't going to cut it.
You think he puts the pants on just Goes right
like
through
Vrabel. Him and Vrabel, by the way. Okay, so if he gets to the NFL, then we will potentially have a further conversation about who wins in the head coaching fighting thing in the NFL. Until then, there ain't nothing to talk about. Okay, but high school coaches want to get it. All-star A-Train. A-Train runs through the entire country.
Belts on A-Train.
Look at his highlight. He was a freak athlete.
Yeah, he really was.
His first touchdown, he ran through like 3 guys and extended for one.
He did one where he like army crawled. He was like this far off the ground and like scooted and ran. It was insane.
The Super Bowl one. He ran through like 2 dudes.
But now that we know that he's pushing cars, which is very low, that whole...
that makes sense.
That makes sense. He's been preparing for the one-arm save just by pushing all these goddamn cars all over the place. Cornfields, banned parking lots. Don't matter. Any car can get it with it. He was awesome, dude. That was better than I could have ever expected. I was rattling off all the white cliches, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was not happy about them until the lunch bill. He's at lunch.
That's me. I've heard that a lot.
All right, let's get to a break. Some phone calls on this thankful Wednesday, November 25th. We'll talk about more stuff happening. Nick Saban has COVID. Now, interesting thing about this COVID, we're going to have to do some research here, and I'm no doctor, obviously, and I'm sure others have this stat. I guess it's true that if you beat COVID in 12 hours, you don't get the antibodies.
Oh, too quick.
Because Saban earlier in the year had COVID. Then he passed 3 straight tests the next day.
Defeated it very quickly.
12 hours Saban beat it. And none of us even blinked, by the way. We were like, yeah, that's Nick Saban, dude. That's going to happen. Turns out, whenever you beat COVID that fast, your body can't build up the antibodies. T's and P's legitimately, just like they were last time, with Nick Saban, legend in the college football world. He's out for the Iron Bowl this weekend. He said he has minimum symptoms, but they are keeping him self-quarantined. So he's out this weekend. And I guess that legitimizes the false positive that happened a few weeks ago. Unless the antibodies thing is
total.
No, don't say it.
Oh. Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All right, we're back on the other side with some phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Wednesday, November 25th. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you. Sure. Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh, no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No, no, no. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches. Cut the music. Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. By the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What is this?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
That is the bag of money.
Oh, FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Oh, $50,000 in there.
Oh my God.
Yes, there's $50,000 in there. Yes, there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
rubber back.
Oh man, let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude. We did it. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh,
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money. You guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
There's a place like home we long to go. There's a song we love.
This is a good one.
This is so good.
How the poem will live and never die.
It's dead.
It's true. No.
Yeah,
it is.
You're listening to the truth.
So raise a glass for Boston.
Thanks, Trakes. Thanks, Trakes. Thank you, Trakes. Thank you, Buffalo.
Thank you.
For the keepers of the pub, they are. To the pub, they are so true.
Someone give me a
Pub's dead.
No, it's not. You just heard.
That was a song from Year of the Buffalo.
Yeah.
It says it's not dead.
The song's called The Pub Will Never Die.
Never
Year of the
die.
Buffalo.
Never.
By the way, they're the ones that made the song Ohio River, which is an absolute heater.
So is that one.
That song, Pub Will Never Die, was pretty good. In the pub was the house, shitty shanty house that Zito, Connor, and Foxy lived in. They called it the Pub.
Wonderful.
It had slanted floors, no window seals. There was a guy who shot himself right next door.
Yeah.
The boys got blamed for it.
We did.
They picked up a cat off the streets.
Yeah.
There. I mean,
Pub cat.
Pub cat.
Shout out. Still alive.
It's just this shitty little hole of a
Pretty
place.
big mice problem.
Yeah. I paid them too much money for them to be living in the house that they were in. They made me in this business look bad with where they chose to live. So I put out an all-out assault on this place. And the boys, to their credit, they dug their feet in the trenches of that shitty house, and they defended it until it was dead. But that house got condemned, just like I said it was going to happen, and they did move out. So the pub, although they said will never die, the pub's fucking dead.
Nope. Never can, never will. Dave Trago is the law when it comes to music, and he just said to you, the pub will never die.
Well
you know
said,
it's
Connor.
true.
Well said.
Let's go to Andrew in Kentucky. Actually, you were the one that told us the pub was dead.
No, not me.
Andrew in Kentucky, what's going on, dude? Yeah, you guys didn't pay your bills on time.
Oh, that's just part of the pub of lore.
Remember, you guys got bamboozled by the landlord of the
We won that case, by the way.
No, you did not.
Yeah, we did.
You paid money to live there. You paid money to live there. You lost.
No, because you got to treat the place like I was allowed to spit on the walls if I wanted to.
You guys, and you did do that. It was disgusting.
I don't know how you did that.
That was disgusting. And then he fell asleep right next to
In
it.
his bedroom,
I didn't have a red Solo next to me. It was filled with water.
That might have been where COVID started, by the way. Everybody thinks it's Wuhan. I would assume that it was potentially the pub.
No, it was
They cured in that place as well.
homeless people were squatting in houses that were nicer than this fucking place that these guys were paying an assload amount of money to live in. It was unbelievable. They have since moved on to a great place. Very happy for you guys. A lot of people don't even live there anymore, but I'm very thankful for you. Let's move on. By the way, I'm thankful Wednesday. I'm thankful you guys no longer live in that condemned shithole.
I'm thankful for the pub as well.
Me too.
Thank you.
Me too. Thank you.
That place stunk. Andrew, what's going on, bub?
Wonderful.
Hey, Pat boys, how's it going?
Well, there was this one time when I walked into the pub, I thought the roof was falling and caving in on my head, and then I came back.
Waking up.
Yeah, came back later. There was like a caution can't go on this side of the house thing. So I mean, the place was terrible.
That was my makeshift bedroom, actually.
it was.
The first time.
Sorry, Andrew. Everything's good, though.
You're good.
How are you, man?
First, I just want to say we're all thankful for you all every day for getting us through the day.
Andrew, we thank you, man. We're lucky to do it.
As a diehard Steelers fan, I am not thankful of the bullshit that they're pulling trying to wreck our undefeated season.
Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. Andrew, what part of Kentucky are you in?
Louisville.
A lot of Steelers fans in Louisville?
Yeah, actually a lot of Steelers fans in Louisville. Since we don't have a team, it's only the Steelers were on TV back in the day because they were the only good TV.
Yeah, bingo. World's team. But the interesting thing about what Andrew said with the bullshit that they're pulling, Diggs said something a little bit earlier about that because Diggs is a diehard Steelers fan, and the Ravens-Steelers rivalry is one that is real. They played great games. America needed them to play tomorrow night. Now 7 players have tested positive for COVID, and I believe some staff members as well. So the game has been moved from tomorrow to Sunday afternoon. Tomorrow's games will remain at the same time slot, noon and 4:30 or whatever. So tomorrow night, there will be no football because of COVID, okay? On Thanksgiving, this COVID thing, it's gone too far.
God damn, too fucking far!
But Diggs went on a rant about how mad he was about the Ravens particular, and he had no disregard. He literally just was saying things that were so out of a complete overreaction, out of anger. You know, people have done a lot worse in the current state that he was in, like murder, for instance. If you're watching Dateline, there's a lot of passionate things. A lot of passionate words came out of Diggs, and there is one particular fan of ours, a couple, that is not happy about it. Okay,
Are they done?
This is from Tommy and Brittany Henniger. Okay,
Oh, the Hennigers.
at Henniger Tommy, though, so Brittany's name did not make it into the amount of characters there.
Sorry.
Diggs,
Good husband.
parentheses. That is interesting. I would assume it was potentially Tommy's first, and then she was like, well, I would like to be on there too. So he just added and Brittany, and then he said, like, babe, Twitter has, I can't do it. Anyways, what he did say, though, and it seems like it's coming from both of them, but who knows. Diggs, parenthesize, Steelers dude, parenthesize, being a hardcore Ravens fan, the disrespect you showed made you lose followers.
Wow. Oh, shit.
And he was talking about me, by the way.
Yeah.
He was talking about me losing followers. He tweeted this to me.
Oh.
We've watched this show for over a year every day, but not now because of the eminent disrespect from him towards the fans. Just don't set well. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Not impressed. Exclamation point.
Oh, God.
We lost a viewer because of you, Diggs.
As Mike Tom would say, I do not care.
Let's get to the phone call, shall we? Let's go to Ethan in Iowa. What's going on, Ethan? How you doing, bub?
Good quote.
Doing good, man. How are you guys?
Not too shabby, man. I mean, there's really not much shit to talk about aside from Nick Saban has COVID. We hope he's okay. He's going to miss the Iron Bowl. The Steelers-Ravens game tomorrow night has been postponed to Sunday. Lions, Texans, Washington football team, Cowboys. All right. We covered it. What do you want to talk about, bub?
Lost Tommy and Brittany.
Thank you, Tate.
Actually, happy Thanksgiving to all you guys. I will be watching the Lions game. Kid that I went to high school with will be playing tight end for Detroit, T.J. Hawkinson.
Let's go.
Big Hawk.
Yeah, he's a stud. Iowa's got great corn out there, good people, and great tight ends.
Oh, yeah. Feeding the nation. The kid's a fucking animal. So, my questions, though, 2 things. What are your thoughts on the college football playoff rankings? And I'm a big Ohio State fan, so what do you think our odds are to win out the rest of the year and win the national championship?
Interesting. Indiana gave him quite a,
Living in Iowa, big-time Ohio State fan.
Yeah, he knows that there's probably only one team that's ever going to really get a shot, and he decided he's going to take it. That's what he said.
Smart.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. When he was a little baby boy, when he was out there, he said, listen, it seems like those guys spend a lot more money on winning over there, and they're going to make it happen more. I'm going to be a fan of them. And by the way, I also don't mind pissing off my whole family. He's probably a diehard Hawkeyes fan.
You're right.
So it was an interesting question by him, obviously. And Iowa, much better than I think anybody thought they were going to be this year, potentially.
They've turned it around a little bit.
And Wisconsin now can't even play football, not even allowed in the Big Ten championship because they had a great start, would probably have been or ended up in the Big Ten championship game. They have been great for a long time. They're freshman quarterback that takes the world by storm on opening night, which was delayed longer than any other conference. He tests positive. He's out for 21 days. See you later. Don't touch a football for 3 weeks. He comes back, has a bad game, by the way. I get a bunch of tweets like, where's your hero now? It's like, well, he was locked in a fucking cave for 3 weeks. Wasn't allowed to practice, do anything, lift, and wasn't allowed to do. You think his college apartment house had a full gym? You think it had a full, he wasn't allowed to do anything for 3 weeks. Of course the kid's going to stink after that, which is why I went on an entire rant about how do they even care about the student athlete, making him go live in a room all by himself for 3 weeks because he tested positive when every other conference was figuring out ways to get people back 5 days later so kids didn't ruin their entire season. Now, we know that there's no eligibility fallout from this year, so that kid could be a freshman yet again next year because of the 2020 season or whatever. We just thought the Big Ten had made some questionable moves. This is another one. Wisconsin, because Minnesota got COVID this weekend, COVID issue. We hope everybody survives, by the way, in Minnesota. But this game's been canceled. Now Wisconsin will not play enough games to be eligible for the Big Ten championship at the end of the season. So if you're Wisconsin, it'd be hard not to tell everybody to go fornicate themselves immediately because you kind of got screwed over in this whole thing. But being from Iowa, being an Ohio State fan, it's very clear that he's doing that strictly because he knows that they're going to go. Indiana tested him. And if you want to look at the college football playoffs, rankings that came out last night. Awesome show, by the way. They got Alabama #1, Mac Jones and Steve Sarkisian. That offense is awesome to watch, and they have incredible defense, which they'll always have because Saban's over there. I mean, it is Alabama's Alabama again, and Alabama has had to sit around for the last couple of years knowing that Clemson and LSU and all these people have been in, and Saban, greatest college coach of all time, has been putting it together. Now, he'll be out this weekend for the Iron Bowl, but I like Alabama one. I think they deserve it, and Mac Jones was on pace to crush every record that Joey Burrow had last year at the beginning of the season. I'm not sure he's keeping up with Joey Burrow now. Joey Burrow got real hot towards the end of the season. Mac Jones is going to have to climb a lot to do that, but he's unbelievable. Notre Dame at 2, they beat Clemson. It was #1 at the time. Their fans stormed the field because they hadn't beaten a #1 in 35 years or something like that. They got chastised for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. They didn't care about anybody.
Can't do that.
Parades around the country, cool. Fans storm the field. Stupid football fans, stupid sports fans. Can't do it. Grow up. Don't care if you haven't won in over 3 decades. Don't care that this might be the first time your team isn't all fluff. Don't care that this is the first year your team might be great and really go. They're #2. Clemson's #3. Ohio State's #4. Ohio State's at #4 behind a one-loss Clemson team who lost to Notre Dame, potentially because the Indiana game that happened this past weekend. Now, 5 Texas A&M, wild move. The whole office was very surprised by this. They beat the #6 team, Florida, though. So everybody assumes that that's why it is, and their only loss is to Alabama.
Correct.
So at 7, Cincinnati, which is what we talked about earlier in the show, at 7, there's not enough room to move for Cincinnati to get up there, and I'm bummed about it. I'm not happy about it. Now, granted, could everybody lose, and would they still potentially not put Cincinnati in there? Yes, that is something that very much could happen. Cincinnati has a team athletically, I think, that can make a Power 6 run into the real college football playoff. Just the studs that they have on that team, the maturity they have on that team. UCF had it a few years ago. They didn't get the opportunity. 2020 thought there was a chance that a team like Cincinnati or like UCF could go on a run because of games being postponed. Wisconsin's not even playing enough games to potentially get there. Ohio State almost had a run-in with another team. There's a lot of things that could happen there, but it turns out with this first ranking, it looks like it's probably not possible for them. In 8, Northwestern. Northwestern and Ohio State will play at some point, so Ohio State will have to prove themselves yet again to another top 10 ranked opponent. Will Northwestern be able to hit on the deep balls that Indiana was hitting on? Will Northwestern be able to do what they did to Justin Fields, forcing him to throw 3 interceptions? I'm not sure. It feels like those top 4 are probably locked in for the long run.
Yeah, because if you look at Cincinnati, Alabama and Florida are going to play in the SEC championship. So if Florida wins, Alabama's a one-loss team, and Florida's a one-loss team, then they're both still above Cincinnati probably. And then you had Notre Dame and Clemson, who they're going to play against. Same situation there. Ohio State and Northwestern. If Northwestern beats Ohio State, Northwestern's going to probably jump Cincinnati. Like Cincinnati's in a bad spot.
They got no shot.
Yeah,
They
no
put them in a
man's
great ranking at 7 to say, hey, we appreciate what you did, but there's no chance of you climbing up in. Hey, and by the way, we've already come out and said it. We're not adding teams to the playoff. Quit asking.
They got it.
We're not adding any. Quit asking. And if one of the teams can't make the game, we ain't postponing. They fucking lose. Quit asking. They've already come out and said that basically. It's like, hey, well, why don't we think about this a little bit? Why don't we make this an 8-team playoff? It's 2020. If the teams are available to do it, let's do it. Why not? Is it because of health and safety? Okay, well then why'd you play the season at all? You know, there's a lot of. Let the boys play. Cincinnati has a team, by the way, this year athletically. Now, granted, I don't think they'll be able to win the whole thing, but I don't think it'll be like a boat race. You know what I mean? Like I think it'll be. I think they could potentially even steal a win in the semis. Potentially. I mean, there is. I think athletically they have a team that I'm not sure the college football playoff selection committee looks at. Like, okay, let's look at the team. Who have they played? Well, they're in the goddamn American Conference. So who have they played? They played the American Conference. That's the conference they're in. Is that their fault? Is that Luke Fickell's fault? Because he's a better recruiter than a lot of other people and he's able to build up a team that's in the American Conference to be goddamn good? Isn't this what this is all about? The student human athletes? It shouldn't matter where you come from. If you're the best squad, you should get an opportunity. That's what the UCF fans were saying years ago. And now I bet you Cincinnati and the BYU fans are saying the same damn thing. Why not give the Storm and Mormons a shot over there? Now, you got disputing reports about why BYU and Washington didn't happen. Washington saying, well, BYU just didn't want to play. And BYU's like, Washington asked for like 45 things, so let's go ahead and we're not, I'm sorry. We're supposed to bend over backwards just to play Washington this weekend? We're the undefeated squad, okay? Everybody can take it easy. But then Washington came out and said they were scared to play us because of college football rankings. It's just, there's a lot of interesting shit that goes on with college football. And last night the rankings said a lot. And it also told Cincinnati, don't matter how good you are, pal. Keep it moving.
And Cincinnati is beating teams by like 40 points. If you remember, I think 2 weeks ago, they played ECU, and the head coach on the other team was mad because Cincinnati was running up the score. They have to if they want a chance at the college football playoff, and they're not even getting one. If there was ever a time to make it 8 teams,
let's go.
It's this year. Come on.
Hey, Steelers-Ravens got canceled on Thanksgiving. Make the college football playoff 8 teams.
Damn it.
This is probably karma for Cincinnati.
What's that?
It's karma for Cincinnati. They should have just scored on Saturday.
Instead of doing smart analytical football. They did say that if they had 6 more points, they would have been moved up to 5.
Yeah, would have changed a lot.
Would have changed a lot.
A point difference.
You got some degenerates in that college football playoff committee. It's like, they want to be up there, huh? You know what I want? I want them to cover. Which they, instead, they fucking take a knee. What, on the 1? Okay, what are you, smarter than NFL teams now all of a sudden? Don't want you in our goddamn playoff. Costing a lot of people money, pal.
Yep.
Let's get some phone calls. Hey, great question by him. Led to a conversation we're supposed to have. See, that's the show. You know what I mean?
Something to think about if you're calling in.
What's that?
You know?
Something happened to my shit here.
Oh, do they break?
I don't know. I feel like one ear's not working, maybe.
Really?
I'm listening in stereo right now. You know what I mean? You ever hear that song? She's the one-eyed, one-eyed, one-eyed. She's the one-eyed, one-eyed. One of the best lines in there is her vision is in stereo. All right, let's go to
what the hell does that mean?
One eye.
One eye.
Visions. And...
The All-Star game that was supposed to be in Indy?
Yeah.
2024.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, nice.
You think we'll have... you think we'll be allowed out of our houses by 2024?
Nah.
Here's a real question. You know, if they're already postponing the 2021 NBA All-Star game, which is what All-Star break is summer, right?
February.
No, February.
Oh, so it's coming up pretty quickly.
Yeah, usually the season.
Got to do it then.
Yeah.
That would mean no combine then, right?
Yeah, and 1 month later is supposed to be the bubble March Madness tournament in Indianapolis.
It is.
Well, listen.
It looks like.
Let's just act like everything's still going to happen, okay?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
We need it.
College basketball starts today. We're good.
Hey, there's
We're good.
100 and some games or something?
112, I think, 113.
We're damn near halfway there.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Mm-hmm. And none of these games matter, by the way.
Nope.
Get to the bubble, boys.
Get to the bubble.
Get to the bubble, boys.
Louisville, Kentucky on Christmas has a little extra juice after that Calipari Coach Mack little feud on Twitter.
And by the way, I thought about Coach Mack while I was talking about the BYU Washington situation, where Washington was making a bunch of allegedly. Now it depends on who you believe. Pete Thamel.
Pete Thamel.
That sounds cooler though. You should switch to that.
Pete Thamel.
Pete Thamel.
Timothy Thatcher. Pete Thamel.
Pete Thamel.
I don't know what it is, or Bruce Feldman, depending on which which source you want to listen to. One's from BYU, one's from Washington. Washington people are saying BYU basically just said, no, we don't want to play because college football rankings coming out, is what the one source said. And then the other people, BYU folks, were like, there was like 14, 15, maybe 75 asks for this game to happen. It's like, we're not bending over backwards, which is what Coach Mack basically did of Louisville to the Kentucky Wildcats and John Calipari.
Yep.
That's a great video, by the way. I'm not a big college basketball fan, but anytime you get a head coach cutting a promo against another head coach, especially within the state of Kentucky, love it. Love everything about it. He came in there and took some swings. I wonder what take that was, by the way. It was him in his office, just so we can set the scene for those that haven't seen the video, and maybe we can try to pull it up. It's him sitting in his office with an iPhone set up on like maybe a socialite thing.
Yeah.
Light not on, okay? Him in his office chair, looking at the camera, cutting a promo, looking away, going back in, going away, coming back in, ending it with a punchline. I loved it. I loved everything that he did. It was glorious. And, you know, Kentucky has run the state there for a while. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the next day the game got scheduled, so the promo worked.
That's awesome. Let's go to Dylan in Indiana. What's going on, Dylan?
Good. How's it going, boys? I hope everyone has a good holiday weekend and safe travels if you're going back home.
Hey, you too, man. Don't travel with too many people, though. You know, not too many.
Be careful now. You be careful.
I originally had a question for Mike Allstott, but I didn't get the chance to get on. So
I don't know who made you think that was going to happen. Did Mitt tell you that you had a question for Mike Allstott? Let's go ahead and hammer it.
No, dude. I had called with an original question to begin with, and then I messaged him to see if he could change the subject line to see if he could try to get me on with it.
Oh, you thought my first ever?
My hero.
You're one of your heroes. Okay, I think Mike Allstott's one of everybody's heroes. Just so I have this. You thought the first time I was going to talk to Mike Allstott in my entire life, I was going to be like, you know what? Let's fucking open this thing up to some phone calls.
Maybe.
No, I can't do it.
Good guy.
Yeah, but who knows what's coming through? I understand that. But for Mike Allstott, there's no reason for him to have to sit through. Now, granted, was Gio's your name?
Dylan.
You changed the last name.
Oh, yeah, Dylan. Anyways, there's no way. Dylan, where are you at right now, by the way?
South Bend, Diggs' second hometown.
All right, Diggs coming up there. You Diggs, Mayor Pete, and everybody going up there to South Bend. But Dylan, I can't assume that you're just going to have a great question. What if you shit all over yourself in front of Mike Allstott? That'd be me putting a lot of pressure on you, on the phone caller, not to fuck it up for us, for Mike Allstott forever. There's no way I could do that, Dylan. You have to understand that.
I get it, but I tried to shoot my shot.
Yeah, which I can respect. What was your question for Mike Allstott, and how would you have delivered it? Let's act like Ty's Mike Allstott. What do you got there?
I wanted to know what his days were like at Purdue, and if he had any good stories, whether it was on the field or any good parties or anything. Because I partied down there, and it's always a good time.
Okay, not a terrible question,
Mike?
I mean, I don't know if Mike would have opened up there from his high school coach's office that he was in there.
Yeah, right.
You know, there's one time I went down to, what's it called, Harry's ice cream store or something like that, and had 50 to 60 shots.
I was blacked out, ran through the plate glass.
Dylan, that would have been a good question, though. But I'm saying is there was a chance that your question would have been a bad question, and we can't have that be our first interaction with Mike Allstott. So what do you want to talk about now, Dylan?
My question was originally, with COVID going on, are you guys still planning on doing the Super Bowl super yacht for the?
Oh yeah, I mean that's the best place too.
Dylan, you can call in anytime. By the way, man, great questions, very thoughtful and good delivery. The Super Bowl super yacht was created with COVID in mind.
Oh yeah,
because Radio Row, which is not a thing, by
Can't
the way.
do it.
No.
Radio Row, which is
Dead, fortunately.
a very, very electric atmosphere down there at Super Bowl, by the way. It is.
It is.
I mean, it's all a joke, just a massive joke and everything like that. But it is awesome. It is a spectacle. We got a chance to be a part of it a couple times. Shout out Jeezy. Shout out plenty of other people. I mean, it is a good time. Okay.
It's also super spreader central. Romy had malaria last year.
Yeah, so that's exactly.
It actually may have been COVID.
But the Radio Row's not happening this year. So I'm wondering if anybody's traveling down there to do.
Whoa.
Yeah. Jim Brown probably beat COVID very early. February.
That
right?
would make sense.
Yeah, he's probably like,
Hey, congrats to Rome, man.
Wow.
I wonder if he's gotten tested for the antibodies yet.
But I do.
Absolute.
Or the cure.
Absolute legend, dude. Absolute legend. Anyways, the There's probably not people traveling down to the Super Bowl to do interviews.
No.
So we would hope that what we were hoping is down on Radio Row, we'd be able to entice people like, those people in the New York City streets that have like stand-up comedy pamphlets.
Yep.
Or in Vegas, they have those cards, We were hoping we'd be able to do that. Be like, hey, you want to go on a yacht, maybe hit some golf balls and have a conversation, That's what we were hoping, but it doesn't feel like anybody's probably going down there. So probably not, Dylan, if I had to guess. I have been getting asked, though, if we're going down there by people that have to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just talked it out. We're probably not going, huh? There's no reason.
How do you even?
What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
I mean, we got our setup here, which is going to be the exact same thing that people are doing there.
Yeah.
Maybe try to go to
We will be down, by the way. We are getting a studio next week down in Florida for Fight Week. Down in Orlando. Fight Week,
Hell yeah.
It's a fight. It's a fight.
War games, what I mean?
Games.
I would not be on NXT tonight, by the way. Night before Thanksgiving. Pete Dunne's going to beat the hell out of some Undisputed Era member in a ladder match. Should be awesome to watch. It's for the advantage in War Games. So we will get an extra person before they will. So we'll be able to double down on one of their faces. Pete Dunne's about to beat the hell out of somebody. And I'll be watching from the comforts of my home saying, hey, Pete Dunne, go kick that dude's ass, brother.
Come on, Pete.
Have a good night on NXT. I won't be there. Cheers. We're back on the other side. I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, okay, we could probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. We were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
"We're down 3 with 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work."
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, cameras on him, and he goes, "Pippen ain't easy." Kidding me?
All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips in from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me, obviously. I teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer. Thanks, Paul. Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scotty.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no Scott King up here.
You're right.
I don't even know what that means.
Great movie.
The Hammers. It
West
makes
Ham
sense.
United.
We're the
Why is
Hammers.
Connor here?
Connor, what do you got?
Look, man, okay? You bet against Bill Belichick last week, and he came down and he broke that fucking hammer. And now you're gonna come in here and you're gonna bet on the fucking Jets on Monday Night Football. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What happened? That's not gonna happen. Do not believe this fucking bullshit. They
will not lose 5 in a row. They will cover. I can't believe the gourd on you to fucking do that after last week. God damn it. With that being said, I also like at plus 9,000 Damian Harris to score a rushing touchdown and to score a receiving touchdown. 20 to win, 1,800. And if you bet on the fucking Jets, let me know, because you're fucking wrong and you're losing money tonight. Damn it.
What a promo.
Hammer.
Yeah.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Hour 3 with AJ Hawk begins right now. College national champion, Super Bowl champion AJ Hawk. What's going on? AJ, we're about to be joined by a guy, okay, who better have some answers because there's some mad Steelers fans in the world right now. We got a caller from Israel named Michelle who's very pissed about this game being made. We'll listen to him, and we'll talk to him in a little bit. Diggs has said very terrible things about the Baltimore Ravens already on this show. Tom Pelissaro, NFL Network and Insider, and also special Thanksgiving edition of NFL Game Day Morning airs Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on NFL Network. And let's assume that the NFL Network will also put together a hell of a show for the night because Steelers-Ravens has been canceled. Joining us now, Tom Pelissaro. Tom, let's get right into it, okay? A lot of Steelers fans are going to tell you you should not be smiling right now, okay, Tom? Yeah. There are people that thought, there we go. All right, thank you. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for, kind of put the serious face on. There are people that are saying that they didn't think 2020 could do anything worse. Taking the Steelers-Ravens off of Thanksgiving night whenever I think America needed this. And that's going to sound dramatic, okay? America needed Steelers-Ravens on Thanksgiving night, I think maybe to calm a lot of storms that are potentially happening in small gatherings around the country, not big gatherings. What are you hearing about this? And how come the Niners had like 10 people out and the game still went on? Why is it different for this particular game? Is it because of the importance in the AFC North?
It's not about the importance in the AFC North. It comes down to a bunch of different factors, one of which being there's not been a game postponed since week 5. Okay, so it's been a long time. Ever since they instituted their high-risk, close-contact protocols, they've found ways to isolate people, to take away, in some cases, like with that 49ers game, you had a guy, Kendrick Bourne, who tested positive and then tested negative, then tested positive and tested negative, but he was out. Then he had several close contacts, including Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, who couldn't play for that game. But you're talking about, in that case, one positive test and then several close contacts. That's happened to other teams. The Packers in that same game had Jamal Williams was ruled a close contact for that game, among others, because they were close to A.J. Dillon. So this is not the first time that somebody would be down some players. It really has to do with, this is the first time that you've had, and I want to be careful to not use the word outbreak here, because the NFL is doing its genomic sequencing and all these different things, interviews to figure out whether or not the virus is actually spreading within the Ravens, or whether in some cases it's just a lot of different people getting a lot of virus from different places and bringing it in separately. But this is the first time that you've had a bunch of infections with one team that are still ongoing up close until kickoff. That's kind of what played out with the Titans weeks ago when you had 20-plus cases with them between players and staff. At this point, you've got at least 5 players and 5 staff members who are confirmed positive. There's additional tests or additional positives with some staff members there. They're trying to get a handle on the totality of the situation. It's not a competitive decision. It's really about, this is one of those rare cases where, because of the number of positive tests and how close it's happening to kickoff, they felt like the best thing to do was push the game back 3 days.
I thought it was 7. It's not 7 players. It's only 5 players.
7 players are going to be on the reserve COVID-19 list, but only 5 that we know of are confirmed positive, because, of course, you can also land on that list because of close contact. You also, in certain cases, can land on that list because you had a positive that has not yet been confirmed as a positive. Really, what the NFL wants to do is make sure, are you going to have 3 more guys test positive tomorrow? I mean, they're getting tested every day. So how far is it spreading? How is it spreading? Is it spreading within the club? Because, I mean, let's face it, in the United States, you have massive amounts of infections everywhere, including hotspots in some NFL cities. So naturally, you're going to have more guys get exposed. You're going to have a rise in infections, which is exactly what's happened in the NFL. Just because a team has multiple positive cases doesn't mean player X gave it to player Y. Maybe they both got it from their wives or their kids or, the grocery store, whatever, and brought it in. That's all the stuff they got to figure out.
Tom, I know the whole league is in like this intensive protocol right now. Is there a mega intensive protocol? Is there another step up we could get to?
Yeah, come on. We lock this thing down?
Yeah, we're doing this. This is actively happening. They sent a memo again like 2 nights ago. It's not an intensive protocol, but now you have a mask mandate on the sideline. If you are not in the game, preparing to substitute into the game, or at least wearing a helmet, you have to have a mask on. And teams have been told, you are responsible for enforcing this. If players break the rules, they can be disciplined. If the team does not enforce it, the team can be disciplined. So this is the next level here. What the NFL has really found, and when I say the NFL, I'm not talking about Roger Goodell. I mean the medical experts, Dr. Alan Sills, the team of epidemiologists who have been advising. What they have found is that really your risk is not between the teams. They've not found any evidence that, if you're your defensive tackle tests positive, that the offensive guard who's going against him is going to test positive. No, it's when guys are standing together on the sideline that you might be giving it to each other. So they're trying to eliminate that as best they can, have masks mandated on the sidelines. They're already mandated in the locker room. They're now shortening to the post-game interactions, which really weren't supposed to be happening to begin with, and there's already been a mask mandate for those. Most guys weren't following it, so now they're enhancing that, saying it has to be brief. You need to get yourself off the field. This is a moving target. I mean, there have been, I don't know how many updates to these protocols. They're going to keep happening.
That's why Tom didn't go say what's up to go. Yeah, because the protocol was lifted. Everybody wants to make drama out of it because the Buccaneers lost and he had a bad night or whatever. No, it's because he knows that it takes all of us. Tom already knows that more than anybody. Whenever the NFL did its entire review of the Titans thing that happened, they ended up fining the Raiders like 10x what they fined the Titans. And the Titans had like 22 players that got it. And they said that they believe that no protocols were broken by the Titans or whatever. And that's with inside the building things and cameras and the mask force that's out there with their pen and paper, like their hall monitors out there and everything, and the masks everywhere. And they don't celebrate or talk to people protocols. The Titans did none of that. They had 22 people. So at this point, because we just had the Steelers Ravens, which is our Ravens Steelers Thursday or Thanksgiving night primetime game postponed to Sunday. We can probably assume, right, that there's going to at least be another game that ends up getting postponed and not going to be able to move, and we're going to have that Week 18, and we're going to have the 16-game playoff or 16-team playoff. Is that kind of the assumption around the NFL at this point?
If I've learned one thing, Pat, this season, it's assume nothing. We really don't know from week to week what's going to happen. But I think that if you were, just kind of playing the odds, so to speak, here, you would say that eventually you might end up in a situation, just because, again, infections are rising all over the country, where they would have to utilize Week 18. And by the way, this is exactly why they haven't utilized it. If they had pulled the trigger in like Week 7 or whatever, the Raiders had that thing where all the offensive linemen couldn't practice all week, then all of a sudden you're out of options. That was it. That was the nuclear option. Now you have nowhere left to go. What they wanted to do was maintain that Week 18, keep it open until you got to a point where you had to use it. As the playoff picture begins to crystallize here, you might have games in Week 15 or Week 16 that they simply go, you know what? It doesn't make sense right now to be pushing people back from a Sunday to a Tuesday. Now you got short weeks at the end of the year. Now let's utilize Week 18, because the whole thing that the competition committee and the owners approved regarding the potential expansion of the playoff field was tied to all meaningful games being played. If all meaningful games cannot be played, then they would expand the playoff field to 16. At this point, that's not happened. Their plan is still to play 256 games over either 17 or 18 weeks, and they'll utilize Week 18 if they have to make up some games at the end. We're still pretty early to start just going, we're going to take this Steelers-Ravens game and throw that into January.
Got it.
So, Tom, Pat, first off, you pointed to yourself.
What you drinking there, Pat? Looks
then you
pointed to the hawk.
I pointed to the hawk as if it was your Come on. I pointed to the hawk as if it was your turn. Like I didn't want to, you know what I mean? Tom gave a great answer there, and I had no follow-ups, by the way.
Come on, AJ.
Pretty amazing.
I preach awareness, and I had 0 right there, so that is 100% my mistake.
Well, we can make it even worse if we want to. You absolutely.
Oh,
look at you, AJ.
Somebody's been practicing.
Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Attaboy, Tom. Attaboy, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Come on, don't leave him hanging.
Oh. Yeah.
I know the radio listeners love this. It always plays when we do these shenanigans on video. But Tom, first off, I noticed the pictures behind you. You have Russell Wilson and yourself above the picture of you and your family. Not sure how your wife and kids feel about that. What went into that decision, I guess, to give prime position to Russ?
Nothing up here. I got an email this morning from someone asking me like what these orbs are over here.
Yeah.
And my answer just is like, I got no effing idea. I don't know. They built this thing. They stuck a bunch of stuff. They told me it's mid-century modern. I had no voice in the matter. In terms of the pictures, I don't know. I guess that's a really good point. It's never come up.
No.
Now it will. Thank you. The only thing up here that I own, if you ever see in the background, is the starting lineup guys. Like, if you ever see Brian Bosworth in the background, 1990 era Boz starting lineup guy. That's mine. Everything else, I got no say in it.
So it was NFL Network just sent in like a contractor, and they're like, hey, you can't be in your house, obviously, because you got to self-quarantine away from the contractor that's coming into your house. We'll put a mask on them. They'll build you a backdrop because we are sick of looking at your basement. Is that what they said to you?
This was pre-COVID times. This was like 2 or 3 years ago they came in. Like this entire wall they just built, and then they were like, I was like, hey, here's some stuff that I like. Could you put this up there? They're like, no. We got triangles for you. We got a lot of triangles. If you want to get into your set here.
Tom, let's talk about the Vrabel-Harbaugh situation a little bit here, because obviously Harbaugh's team now, after the loss to the Titans, we think they want the Jimmy's famous seafood, had a good time, ate the greatest crab cakes of all time. They probably, dose-a-dote a little bit. Are the Baltimore Ravens, is Harbaugh losing the Ravens? Hey, here's a super cliche, catchy question that normally athletes are asked, and if they give an answer that isn't completely on the line, they're like, losing. In your head, as a media person, do you think that there is a little bit of distrust in the Baltimore Ravens organization? Hadn't had a breakout right until now. You got Lamar Jackson saying they're becoming predictable. No players went out there to fight for Harbaugh whenever the other team was there. Is there big distrust in Baltimore right now from what you're hearing?
I have not been told that by anyone that there's an issue in terms of John Harbaugh with the Ravens players. I do believe that naturally you've reached the point now where, based upon the type of offense that Greg Roman was running with Lamar Jackson when he won the MVP, everybody in the league was waiting for, okay, when teams come up with an answer for that diverse running game and all the option side stuff and the read stuff that they do, what's the next level? How do you take a step forward here? It's the same thing that Greg Roman ran into circa 2014 with the 49ers, where it was, all right, Colin Kaepernick has done a lot of phenomenal things. What's the next level? Well, over time in San Francisco, they tried to have Kaepernick playing more from the pocket. The development was not necessarily to the point where that worked out as well as they would have liked to. And then obviously a lot of different things happen with Kaepernick, so I'm not comparing the two situations. But the point is, when you're running that style of offense, teams eventually are going to find answers for it. That's the nature of the NFL. When anybody's doing something new from year to year, week to week, people are going to come up with different answers for it. And you've got to have a counterpunch. And right now, the Ravens, it seems, are just trying to figure out what exactly is their counterpunch. You know, they've had some injuries at running back, which has not helped them. Mark Ingram missed some time. J.K. Dobbins, I think you saw him last week beginning to break out. Now both those guys are on the COVID list, so if this game takes place on Sunday, they're still not going to be out there. It's going to be Gus Edwards. They haven't found a way to get the ball to Hollywood Brown. I mean, these are kind of just fundamental things that they've got to come up with. I think that it's, you know, again, I have not been told by anyone that John Harbaugh is losing that team or losing the locker room. It just seems that they become a little bit stagnant from an offensive perspective. And then defensively, too, there's an evolution that takes place. You trade for Yannick Ngakoue, hoping he can be a playmaker for you. They moved on from Earl Thomas in training camp. They've had some new parts there, and they're not functioning at as high of a level all around as they were a year ago.
Huh. Hey, what about the Bengals? What are you hearing from them? I know there's some reports saying that the coaching they don't trust the coaches. There's a toxic relationship going on or whatever. Are you hearing anything?
And Rappaport told us just a couple days ago that he has heard nothing about Zach Taylor potentially being run out of town. Has anything changed since that whole thing came out?
Knowing how the Bengals operate and how patient they tend to be, and they're the team that probably, I have never fully vetted this, but I would guess statistically they cut fewer players. In other words, they keep everybody as long as possible. Coaches, players, they probably do that more than anybody within the league. And so I think that in any other situation, when you're a 2-win team a year ago, when you're staring down the barrel of potentially being a 2-win team this year, depending on how Brandon Allen functions in place of Joe Burrow at quarterback, you would have more speculation. Because it's the Bengals, because they don't like to eat money, because they have shown patience with coaches, it's not at the forefront as it otherwise might be. In terms of cultural issues there, that's not something I've heard. I saw the headline that you're talking about. There were some things in there regarding the defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, that I definitely have not heard at all in terms of him not getting the buy-in from players. I mean, look what they did in free agency trying to fix the defense. They signed Trey Waynes, hurt in camp, hasn't played the entire season. They signed DJ Reader, the defensive tackle, hurt right away, out for pretty much the entire season. They've had injuries, they've had other issues in terms of that group. That's what's really harmed them on the defensive side. And then, offensively, Joe Mixon's missed like half the year now. Joe Burrow's now out for the season. I mean, we can sit here and talk culture all we want, but it's like when all your good players aren't out there, it's really hard to win football games. And by the way, they might be in one of the best divisions in all of football right now, which doesn't make their task any easier either.
Carlos Dunlap sold his house immediately after the game, right?
Yep.
And he's making plays for the Seahawks, right? They kicked him out of town, basically?
3 sacks, 3 games.
I would assume that there was a couple people maybe they interviewed for said article. I didn't read the article. I only saw the headline as well. I would assume that they could have found some people that would be like, yeah, I'll let you know how I feel about that place for sure. And I'm not saying Carlos Dunlap spoke. I would assume Carlos Dunlap wouldn't do that. But if Carlos Dunlap, who is a superstar, I assume there's some other people that think there's some potential decisions being made in there that the locker room does not respect, if I had to guess, especially with how Carlos Dunlap has played for the Seattle Seahawks since going over there. I assume there's a lot of people like, yeah, we had that dude on our team that just did the thing and we weren't playing him at all. So there's probably, and anytime you lose, that's going to happen, Tom. You know what I mean? Don't you think? Like there's a chance that some parts of the locker room are going to turn if there isn't success happening at the exact time. That just comes with sucking, I think.
And on top of that, guys like Carlos Dunlap had basically played for one coach ever. And Marvin Lewis, I remember talking to players about this last offseason when I was still allowed to travel and COVID didn't exist and life was good, talking to Bengals players about what Zach Taylor was doing. And, there were simple things from, the scheduling standpoint, from the structure of practice, from everything else. So they had a degree of success for a long time with Marvin Lewis. They hadn't won a playoff game, but in a place like Cincinnati where they hadn't won in a long time, they at least were getting into the playoffs. They were winning football games. Then Zach Taylor comes in, and rightly, because they hadn't won big, wanted to change a lot of things. When guys are uncomfortable with that, when their roles start to become smaller and smaller, which Carlos Dunlap's were, I'm not surprised you have some level of dissent among the veterans, but we have not heard that from Joe Burrow or any of the other young players. Some of the people I know there have not expressed anything like that. Certainly the oldest trick in the book to call the person who just got traded or just got fired to find the negative parts of a situation. But no, I mean, in my mind, just knowing the people I've talked to, I haven't got a sense that the culture is the issue. It's just about they're trying to do things differently. They're not winning. And a lot of the players they were counting on to help them do that are not even on the field.
Well, they don't have an indoor practice facility either, so I would like to say that culture.
They go down to the gym at University of Cincinnati.
Which, by the way, University of Cincinnati should be higher in the rankings so they can maybe make a run at the college football playoff. Having them at 7, they got no shot, which is a bummer. But Cincinnati Bearcats are an absolute stud of a team. A stud of a team out there. Austin Eckler broke some news on his own Twitch stream. How'd that make you feel as an insider?
Didn't I break that?
No.
Did he break it? What did he do?
I don't know. I got a bunch of tweets telling me that he broke his own news on his Twitch stream that he might be back this weekend. Hey.
Pretty sure I broke it.
Tommy!
What is it? Twitch stream?
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Tom can't have that. You can't say that on this. I mean, they're going to. I mean, if you had anybody that was potentially on your side for breaking this news before Austin Eckler, whenever you just, completely mock Twitch.
I know what Twitch is.
All those people, though.
They're going to kill you,
They turned against you there. You know what I mean, Tommy?
You're just going to clip out that 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
What is that?
Not us, by the way. We won't do that.
No, yeah, it was yesterday. They made the decision. They're going to return him to practice. He's going to be out there this week. I don't know that he's going to play in the game at this point because they may actually give him another week here. But the fact that he's even back after not practicing since week 4 because of that hamstring injury, definitely a positive sign for a Chargers team that could use some good news right now.
Before we let you go, Christian McCaffrey was in a red shirt. AJ and I know that that means you can't touch him. He can still go through everything, probably a week out. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, we'll see how the week plays out. The fact that they're at least putting him on the field is a step forward from where he's been coming back from that shoulder. It sounds like Teddy Bridgewater's got a much better shot at playing. They were both out there in red jerseys at the start of practice today. It sounds like if all goes well, Bridgewater is on track for Sunday, faces old team, the Vikings. With McCaffrey, we really got to see. I mean, I certainly would not bet on him playing at this point, but we'll see how he's feeling in the next few days here.
Hey, Tom, we appreciate the hell out of you, buddy. Every time we talk to you, we feel good. Teddy Bridgewater is always going to have a red jersey on, though. That's just something that comes with the territory of being a quarterback, Tom.
It's they use that as the injured guy jerseys there, apparently. I think they wear blue. I think they wear blue quarterback jerseys.
Oh, really?
Check me on that. I'll check the Twitch.
Oh, because I was literally right over your shoulder there. Russell Wilson's wearing a red jersey right over your shoulder. I'm like, Tom knows that they wear a red jersey. There's no reason to.
I'm aware, but I believe that the Panthers wear like light blue quarterback jerseys. I could be wrong on that. I think red is the injured jersey for them.
Isn't it interesting? Because, like, for instance, in Green Bay, the red zone's the gold zone. Mm-hmm. Okay, the red zone's the gold zone. Red jerseys are blue jerseys down there. I mean, there's shells in some places, full pads in other places. It doesn't matter as long as you win, baby. That's all that matters, Tom. Who's going to win the Super Bowl, Tom?
I don't make predictions. Can't do it.
Won't do it. Can't have it.
Field.
Why? Because then all your connects at the other teams would potentially turn.
Yeah, the other 31 teams are all mad about it then. I'm out of the prediction business. I was never good at it anyway. This is the same reason that I suck at fantasy football. Yeah. Is because, like, I'll talk to people. I'll be, like, really excited about, like, some 4th-round draft pick wide receiver that's, like, week 8, and the guy hasn't played, and I drafted him in, like, the 8th round. This is the problem with, like, thinking you know more than you do. Just auto draft. It's definitely the best way to do it.
Attaboy, Tom. You just shit on the fantasy community, too, I think. I mean, the Twitch community and the fantasy community. Tom, I absolutely love what you're doing here, Tom.
In every picture I'm seeing here, the Carolina Panthers quarterbacks wear green jerseys.
Oh, okay. Hey, you're right. You're right. You're 100% right. I was
Whoa.
wrong there. That's on me. So that's good news that Teddy Bridgewater's out there and Christian McCaffrey. We need to get Teddy to a green, okay? And we need to get Christian to a...
Blue, white, black.
Oh, offense, defense, depending on what it is.
One of those.
Yeah.
Looks like it's
Tom Bellstar. Man.
Yeah,
Tommy! Thank you, Tom. Tom's awesome.
Yeah.
He did shit on a couple different communities there.
Yeah, he's going to have a tough day tomorrow.
It's fine. Feels like it.
Going to have a long day on the internet for old Tom.
He was right there. He's 100% right there with the red shirt, green shirt thing like that. AJ, anything you heard in there that made you go, oh, wow, that's interesting?
I mean, I guess the fact that it sounds like whatever's going on in the Bengals locker room may not be true.
Yeah, it's interesting because like Carlos Dunlap, obviously, probably. I mean, I don't know Carlos Dunlap personally. He's probably not coming out and just bad-mouthing people. I would assume that, that there's a certain trait that people have to have that do that. But if Carlos Dunlap was that pissed off and he was selling the house, I would assume there's others. Like, I would assume it's not just Carlos that is upset that they're losing and they're not playing. Or so that happens whenever you suck. And by the way, sometimes the players are 100% right, too. It's just doesn't really get listened to because things like that happen. Like, they need to play better football.
When that report came out, it was Dunlap and Atkins, and I believe Geno Atkins is still there, so it could easily be him.
But also, if it's Carlos Dunlap and Geno Atkins,
probably more guys.
Let's assume that there is a lot more guys because those are our two high-end guys. Vets. I mean, those are vets, been around a long time. Carlos Dunlap, still got it. He had to be so pumped on that sack to end the game the other night. He wouldn't drop a suck it sign, but I'm sure he was thinking it.
Fuck you, Cincy!
Go ahead and take this. Let's get to a break. AJ, we got questions from other sports shows to answer on the other side because we are a sports show. And I'm going to do this. You're stupid. Okay? You're wrong. What you said.
I'm going to turn. I don't think I'm going to turn.
Oh, well. Smart. I wouldn't look at me either while I do
lose that, dude.
I wouldn't look at me either, dude.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what Connor drummed up from all these other shows.
We got some good ones.
I heard him yesterday while he was putting them together. We got some good ones, man. Shout out to Undisputed, by the way. Used a clip from yesterday.
Yeah.
With our conversation with Aaron, talking about how Brett Favre they didn't show the clip of him saying that Brett Favre basically started the no-look thing for him. They didn't show that. They showed the clip, though, of him giving love to Matt Stafford, and they talked about how Aaron talked about Brett started the no-look craze, and then Patrick Mahomes gets a lot of credit for it. Is that shade at Patrick Mahomes? Classic conversation. One of the most entertaining 4 minutes I've listened to, though.
Oh, yeah.
Them going back and forth. I was dying laughing. Shannon Sharp had some moments in there that I was crying laughing. And Skip, by the way, had a couple, Oh, is that right? It was awesome. It was really good. And thank them for asking us to do that.
Right.
It's very, very nice of them to do that. Some people just take it. It's an internet show. We don't have to give them credit. Bleacher Report gave us credit, too, which is very nice of them. And they picked the worst photo I've ever taken in my entire life. Interesting. Fucking awesome of them doing that. I think it was at a carb day in Indianapolis 500. So, I don't know, probably 4 to 5 bongs deep.
Oh, yeah.
If I had to guess at that point. Who knows where I was running to do what? They took that photo and put it up there. And like McAfee said this. And there was no like, by the way, this was sarcasm because what I said was, thank God Patrick Mahomes brought the no-look past the NFL or whatever. It's hard whenever you read that as a text. You can't get the inference, I believe is how Aaron Rodgers referred. You can't get the inference that was a sarcastic question. And they picked a terrible photo of me.
Brutal.
But they did give credit. So shout out Bleacher Report.
The name was in size 1 font.
No, it's bigger this time. They used the whole photo.
Yeah.
Terrible photo.
Hey, Pat, I think it's pretty simple in reading that in text to know that that's a sarcastic comment, don't you think? People took you seriously? They just read that?
Oh, yeah. I got some tweets from people. Oh, yeah. They said, thank you, Tank.
Thank you, Tank. I mean, you said it to Aaron Rodgers, so it's like double. Like, if you look at it, yeah, of course, he's messing around here.
Skip, the only thing Skip said that, I found interesting about the whole thing was, he's like, he's cursing up a damn storm, basically. He's basically like he said, he's been doing that blank for a long time or whatever up there, and he's just cursing there, sitting there. And then he said, it is a really good conversation because he's relaxed, and you could tell that Aaron, saying shit and fuck during the conversation, he was not exactly thrilled about it.
No, hitting him like bullets.
Yeah, come on. Man. It was awesome to listen to them talk. I mean, it was like art telling us. I was crying laughing while watching that whole thing. Shannon. When Shannon Sharp gets going, I mean, it is the train. It's Mike Allstott.
It's Mike Allstott.
Yeah. It's Mike Allstott going down there. It's awesome. Sex is cool and awesome. But have you ever tried built-in underwear?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Everyone knows Bird Dog shorts, but now they make pants. They stole Lululemon's designer, and now they're just doing it better. Bird Dogs are pants, but they have the underwear already built in. They look exactly like khakis or chinos, but feel like silky, soft pajamas. Ooh. There are work pants, our golf pants, our happy hour pants, our sleep pants, our workout pants, or our all-terrain pants. The comfort is so cool. The fit is fantastic. The material is majestic, and the stretch is tantalizing with how good it feels. It is unbelievable what Bird Dogs make your legs feel like, because your legs have never felt this way before, because they've never experienced something this great. Go to birddogs.com and enter promo code McAfee, and they'll throw in a free pair of nunchucks.
What?
Yeah, they're right here.
What?
Cool nunchucks.
Cool.
Right here. They're cool nunchucks. They ran out of nunchucks. One of the last times we did this because nunchucks are a hot commodity, especially real ones like those. Hard to find. You go to birddogs.com, enter promo code McAfee. They'll throw in a free pair of nunchucks. Yes, you heard that right. You'll get an actual murder weapon. I mean, if push comes to shove, comes the nunchuck, along with your pair of bird dogs. That's birddogs.com, promo code McAfee. Boom, free pair of nunchucks with your pair of bird dogs. You do not take these things off, we promise you. All right, let's get to a break here, and then we'll wrap up the show on this Thankful Wednesday, November 25th. Hammer Don today, youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, about 3:05, normally at 3:30. A lot of boys have trips to make for Thanksgiving, so we're going to do our gambling predictions and wrap it up early. Not a bad Wednesday. Can't thank you all enough for watching and listening. You got about 4 minutes of Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let me tell you a little story about these statistics. Troy Polamalu, okay? Fucking Troy Polamalu. So we had a fake for the Pittsburgh Steelers that was a 100%er. We didn't even have a cancel the goddamn play because it was a 100%er. If we ever end up in this situation, inside the 7-yard line on the left hash, it is a 100%er that the C gap will be wide open and we will just part the C to the left. It'll be a touchdown. 100%er. We're playing in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I won the punt, pass, and kick national championship, AJ. National championship, AJ.
Congrats.
AJ, did you ever win the national championship, punt, pass, and kick?
I think I got 3rd or 4th out of 4 at the Nationals.
I'm proud of you, man. Anyways, so we're there in that stadium, okay? A lot of McAfee's in there. A lot of McAfee's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown, night game, Sunday Night Football, I believe it was, right here, touchdown. We get into that situation, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really going to happen. We're like on the 6, on the left hash. It's 4th and goal now. Field goal team's jogging on. I'm like, well, fuck, it's about to, I'm ready. I am ready for this to happen. So I get out there. I get down. Vinny's like happy for me. Vinny's like very excited. He's like, let's fucking go. Like Vinny's excited for me at this moment. I'm like, here we go. So I make the call. I forget what it was. So I start saying it, right? And everybody's looking at me like, okay, bright eyes. Here we go. Let's get after it. Offensive linemen are dead ass tired. They do not want to be in the middle of a field goal anyways. So they're just like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you die here, but this should work. Let's get some points. And all of a sudden, I go through my cadence, I call it, I get down, and Troy Polamalu's fucking ass goes ahead for however long his career was at this point. I think it was like 9 years or 8 years at this point. Not a once has he ever gone to this side of the field over here to the left and covered, stood right in the C gap. Never. He lined up exactly where he had lined in film 100% of the time. And then as soon as I got to like the second cadence right before set, he just bounced his little ass right over to the C gap. And I like stopped everything I was doing and I literally just looked at him. And I gave him like a, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you there right now? And then I stood up and said, we are kicking it. We don't have it. We have to kick it. We are kicking this. And then I get down, and Vinatieri kicks it, and I jog off the field, and Chuck Pagano comes running up next to me. He's like, hey, good job. What'd you see? I said, what did I see? Polamalu just fucking went right into the goddamn C gap. What did I see? What did I see? And he goes, okay, sounds good. Good call then. And good call then. And then Vinatieri's like, hey, way to go, buddy. I'm like, way to go? Are we not going to talk about how big of a fucking asshole Troy Polamalu is for what just happened right there? So that's.
I saw the angel of death waiting for me in the C gap.
It's unbelievable. What, you thought I was going to run him over? No way. He's probably going to strip me and score a touchdown the other fucking. That's Polamalu, bro. That ain't just your backyard football with your son. These are professional fucking athletes. He'd probably jump over the lineman, pick me up, and run me into the other fucking end zone if he wanted to. That's what he would have done.
The hard-hitting safety of his generation, too. I mean, Ed Reed, great cover safety. I don't know that you would have feared him, but
Ed Reed, I would have feared Ed Reed. Yeah, if I saw Ed Reed in that C-gap, absolutely. E.D. Reed, boy, the best safety you ever seen, boy. I ain't doing shit to Ed Reed.
No, Ed Reed would have made the tackle. I'm saying that Polamalu would have shaved years off your life.
Oh, my God.
Don't leave me lonely.
You do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Yes! Yeah, baby. Don't Leave Me Lonely here by Late Night Special Band. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Hour 3 here, being joined by AJ Hawk, living legend, obviously. It's a great song. We don't have time to sing it, though. Because it's tough. Once you get started, once you pop, you just can't stop with that song. It's so easy to sing. It's not just good at late nights, good all the time. Late Night Special Band. Thank you. Very thankful for them. Steelers Ravens has been moved from tomorrow night, Thanksgiving dinner time. Post-Thanksgiving dinner time, I guess, because most people eat earlier in the day, to Sunday at 4 or Sunday afternoon, whatever that game is. We have a pretty good lineup of games, actually, on Sunday now. Now, granted, this definitely sucks. Okay, we're not happy about this at all, that this is happening. I mean, this was the game that everybody was looking forward to on Thanksgiving. No offense to Lions, Texans, or Cowboys football team, but this was the game that everybody was looking forward to. That's why it was on at night. Here we go. America needed it. It has been postponed because COVID is running wild on the Baltimore Ravens organization. We hope everybody survives, obviously. We hope everybody survives. You got Chiefs, Bucks. Ooh. You got Steelers, Ravens. And you also have, obviously, Bears, Packers. Prime time, Sunday Night Football.
Titans, Colts.
And Titans, Colts. I mean, there's 4 massive matchups on Sunday, which is cool. But we are very much, what's next? Office here. What's next is obviously Thanksgiving. A shot at Thanksgiving.
Shout out. Thank you.
And
thank you, Tate.
And also,
love you, Tate.
Steelers Ravens. So we're definitely bummed, but Sunday should be cool in the next one, I think. AJ, you and I did a segment last week, and I enjoyed it, and I think you did too. And it's Boston Connors segment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for questions from other sports shows.
Welcome to Questions from Other Sports Shows.
Gentlemen, let's have a clean, clear conversation here. Let's not, let's not get too angry at each other.
Okay.
The first question, AJ, can you please acknowledge, okay?
Yes.
The first question comes from First Take. Are the Steelers underrated, or overrated?
Okay, great question. Now, the thing I've been saying this entire time, AJ, is if they're overrated, what's that mean? They get talked about once a week, maybe? They just gave it top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Ben Roethlisberger wasn't on it. They just gave it top 3 rookie wide receivers that you would build a team around. Chase Claypool wasn't on it. These motherfuckers are the most underrated team in the history of the NFL. Not just undefeated teams. I'm talking about undefeated, just teams in the NFL history. They're unbelievable. Defense is a game changer, okay? And yeah, Gary Gilbert almost beat them, but hey, we don't know about this new Dallas Cowboys team. That might have been a much better Dallas Cowboys team than the record show. Remember, their entire locker room was crumbling until Gary Gilbert and them right the ship, and then Andy Dalton comes back from losing his head and biting COVID. Now he's leading that team. That might be a different squad. The Steelers are incredibly underrated, and I'm fed up with it.
Well, I mean, I think this is great because it works out perfectly. You are 100% wrong. The Steelers are 100% overrated. Ben's basically on his last leg. Claypool's probably going to burn out. Their defense is going to struggle. They're not going to win any more games, and Diggs is probably going to get sick. So that's all there is.
Yeah, Diggs might get sick. He's got a terrible immune system, but he's got a great personality, and he's a good guy, so I don't care about that. Chase Claypool's only getting started. He's not going to wear it. What do you think? Just because he's going to hit the rookie wall at some point? Hate to break it to you, the rookie wall hit about week 2 when they weren't allowed to leave their goddamn house because of COVID. Chase Claypool's only going to continue to grind, and Ben Roethlisberger, he might be on his last leg. But guess what? He thrives on his last leg. Ooh, have you ever seen his entire career? He is the last leg, that guy. And he just wants to win one more Super Bowl right off in his sunset. He said, I'm back because the offensive line loves me, and I love them. I'm back because the defense loves me, and I love them. Ben Roethlisberger wants to get one more win. That's why they refuse to lose this year in something that's incredibly difficult. They might be the next goddamn 72 Dolphins. Ain't nobody talking about it.
It's good. I think we can move on. Pat is born for this stuff. You should be on network TV debating these kind of topics. You should do political arguments too. Like, this is what you were built for.
I don't know why I have to get sick.
Yeah, what do you want, Diggs to die, dude?
I mean, what? Well, the denominator, I wouldn't die.
Basically, Diggs, I was trying to mow down everybody I like.
Thank you.
And I'm a big fan of Ben. I'm a big fan of Claypool. Okay.
That means a lot, H. I appreciate that. Thank you.
By the way, the reason why I went first is because it's much easier to be on the underrated side there than the overrated side. I had to jump in there early. And by the way, I'm assuming that is how those shows go right there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming that's exactly how it goes. All right. I don't believe anything I just said, but I'm going to go ahead and motor it off really quick.
First one to say it, you win.
And I'm going to go loud. So I think, all right, round one, we had a pretty good little
Good round. I mean, the second round is more of a dictionary type of round. Also comes from First Take. What defines success for the Cowboys season?
Go ahead, AJ, please.
I mean, okay, I just got to let you know. Like, I got to let you behind the curtain. Or the people. Like, I'm trying to find a way to get into this bit to try to make it a thing, and I can't. Like, I just can't. You're obviously very good at it, and on this show, like doing this, what we're doing, like this whole show, what we've done since COVID started, is the most like authentic I can be in any show that I do. But I just can't bring myself to make a fake argument.
Answer the damn question. Answer it.
I'm sorry. Like, I honestly want to. Like, I really want to try to drum up some fake energy and do this, and I can't do it. Like, it's not – I guess I'm not willing to do it.
So the season can't be successful is your answer.
So AJ said that they will not have success.
No.
There's
Okay.
no success.
Fair enough.
For me, I think –
No, what do you mean?
That's what
You
you
said
just
you can't define.
You can't define
This
it.
question's stupid. This question's dumb.
No.
Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
You're not
This
allowed
is
to judge
sports
questions,
talk,
dude.
This is sports talk, AJ. Have a little respect, okay? Somebody just hopped over to Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio, and they were here because they want to hear sports talk. This right here is what sports talk is, dude.
Define it.
This is what it is, dude. You either like it or you get off the.
All right, then tell me. Then tell me what defines a successful season for the
Well,
Cowboys.
it's funny you say that because I think a successful season for the Dallas Cowboys is if they can somehow keep that train on the tracks to finish the season without it completely imploding down there in Dallas, they should call that a success. Just 6 weeks into this season, new regime, new organization, new head coach. They're sniping windows in apartment complexes that have views of the thing. They're shutting down the media at practice, which I guess has been happening for a long time. They were able to go live and just stream all practice. They're in a turning of the tide down there. If they somehow get through this entire season without everybody hating each other and without having to cut everybody and salary cap that whole thing, like in week 6 it looked like it was going to do, and potentially play for an NFC East championship late into the season, that should be a success for them because they looked terrible early and we all thought the Lone Star was about to die off down there.
Wow, Pat ran away with that round. Sorry, AJ. You just got absolutely dominated, dude.
Let's go one last question.
Okay, this last one, this came from a few people. It was on Monday Night Countdown. It was on the Monday Night Football halftime show. And also Mike Greenberg of Get Up, AJ's favorite show. He also alluded to it yesterday.
Great work there.
Should Joe Burrow,
really good there.
who just blew his knee out, sit out the 2021 season to prepare for the 2022 season? Please, AJ.
Okay. Why? Why would he do this? That's my first question.
He has a point.
If he's ready.
That's tough to answer.
If he gets cleared by a doctor to play football in the NFL, why would he try to sit out some valuable developmental time, some valuable reps he needs? This question is ridiculous.
All right, yeah. I agree, by the way.
What if they still don't have an offensive line, AJ?
By the way, though, here's my other question. What the hell is happening in the 2022 season that makes it so special that he needs to sit out and wait for that?
Well, they'll have an offensive line by 2022.
Fans in the stadium.
Will they? We don't know.
We don't know. We have no idea. And by the way, if he continues to play that style, that the extended play thing, he's going to take a lot of hits anyways. But will they have a new offense in 2022 that they'll just drop from the sky? You know what I mean? Because if they get a new offense coordinator after Zach Taylor after this year, wouldn't next year be a good year to maybe get a little bit of a relationship built with said play caller and something like that? Or are they going to fire Zach Taylor after the 2021 or after the 2021 season whenever Joe's out for 2, and then he can just start with a new offensive coordinator with a new offensive line and obviously a clean slate and just it'd be like his rookie year again.
Also, another follow-up question I would have to this: how does the rest of Joe's team feel if let's say he's back, he's full go like September 25th, and then like, hey guys, I'm good. He stands up in the team meeting, guys, just want to let you know, good to go, knee's great, don't worry. Next season, after you guys finish these last 14 games, I'm going to be a hell of a player for you.
I want to let you know, I'm going to commit to these off the field workouts that I'll be doing for the next season or so. Okay, and I'll see you guys next year because this team that I'm looking at right here, we've all decided. Stinks.
Doesn't cut it.
So this team's going to stink. I don't want to be a part of that. Next year, though, team's going to be great. AJ, I think you won the final round. Congratulations.
Wow.
Oh, boy, AJ. Way to go. You do like this segment. Look at that.
You crush it.
You love this segment,
AJ.
dude.
Wow.
I do. I mean, sometimes you just have to question the question.
Well, I'll define success for you in that segment. And maybe that is your path to success in that segment, is questioning the question, because that's kind of the purpose of the entire segment there.
But some of these questions don't deserve responses.
Okay, and that could be your answer too, buddy.
Yeah. You didn't even see
You chose
4.
not to do that in rounds 1 and 2, right? That you could have done right. Yeah, 4 and 5, by the way.
I mean, your mind would have been in a pretzel, my friend.
Would have been tough, but we saw you getting a little bit heated, so we had to exit out.
Note to self: dictionary rounds. Probably off the table now that AJ hates them.
Well, and then there's also we have the one word to describe questions that could potentially come, and those ones are going to be good. Those ones are going to be good. Let's go to Paul in New York. What's going on, Paul? Shout out to us, by the way. This guy, we got a listener in New York.
Yeah. Let's go, Paul.
He probably hears us right now, like right now.
Oh, shit. Yeah, here's the dictionary round coming.
Let's go to Paul in New York.
What's dictionary round?
Excuse me.
Shut up, dude.
I'm not sure either.
Hey, Pat, how's everybody doing?
Now, Paul, I'm going to tell you what, bud. This is going to be tough to talk because you are on a 30-second delay. So I'm just going to motor through everything here, Paul. What do you want to talk about? Do you want it to be the Giants? Do you want to be the Jets? Do you have a question? How is New York? Are you staying safe? Can you hear us?
Got a question. Do you think now with the NFL talking about expanding the playoffs, if they have to go the extra season, that the Ravens are doing something to try to push it back a week?
Great question, Paul. Thank you for that.
Is there the 8?
Yeah, there's obviously the conspiracy fodder that can start from now on, because if this game gets delayed and then if it has to be rescheduled, that means there has to be, like, if they can't play Sunday somehow, they'll try to move that to Monday. They've done this in the past. And if it can't keep played, because let's say more and more positives keep coming, by the way. This happened with the Patriots, Chiefs. This happened with the Titans. This has happened before where positives continue to go. Like, if they have 2 days or something without a positive, then they can somehow get back into it. So if this thing isn't played on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, then there's a week 18 that has to be made because there's no shuffle room. I believe Baltimore and the Steelers have both had their bye weeks. So it's going to be tough. And I think there's only a couple teams left with bye weeks. If you have a week 18, the NFL has said they'll extend that to 8 teams from the AFC, 8 teams from the NFC when it was supposed to be 7 from each. Maybe the Baltimore Ravens are playing close Sicilian here, and they're trying to play.
Yeah, they're currently the 8 seed. So actually, hats off to them for a brilliant move to get COVID to potentially get in the playoffs.
To be honest, I did say that earlier while you were in the middle of your fiery.
Oh, my bad. That's
yeah, but you said, "Oh, fuck him" or something like that. Nick Morotto, what were you going to say?
Yeah, and I don't think there's any chance of them moving it to Monday or Tuesday, even because the Ravens are scheduled to play Dallas Thursday next week.
Oh my God!
So week 18's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
No first round bye for the Steelers.
Whenever you thought that an NFL season being 17 weeks was awesome and couldn't do any better, hold the phone. How about an 18th Power Week? Whoa! We're going to have teams playing that the games matter. We might have some teams playing against teams that have been out of the playoffs for 3 months at that point. We will not have a bye week for any playoff team that earned it. The number 1 seeds in each conference will not have a bye week because it does not matter if you're playing in that week 18 game like the Steelers potentially are. There are now 16 teams in the dance, 8 in the AFC, 8 in the NFC, and we will find out who is the Super Bowl, who is the world champion of this 2020 COVID season when you're not just playing your opponents, you're playing a worldwide pandemic that's trying to kill you at every single turn.
Are you still on the last segment?
Yeah, it did feel like that there for a second, didn't it? It did feel like that, you know. Like, is week 18 a good week or not? That would be a good question.
Okay. Well, you'll probably see it in the next couple of days.
Yeah, it's coming. Probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. By the way, they're very good at creating those questions.
Oh, yeah. Second to none.
It's not easy. Let's go to Gio down there in Dallas. What's going on, Gio? What's going on?
What's going on? Man, what are you doing?
What? Do they have our live feed?
Oh, they're supposed to.
Oh, Zito, is this potentially a...
Man, I can't. I think it sounds like it's 30 seconds behind.
But you're
appreciate you, Gio. What do you want to talk about, man?
I hear both of you. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings. Fuck all those people that are unappreciated. Y'all giving away y'all stuff.
Thank you,
man,
Gio.
That shit sucks, bro. That shit pissed me off.
Thank you, Gio. Me too.
I will personally give them $142,000, deliver them myself, and shove it up their ass.
Don't do that. It's a bad financial decision. A lot
of money.
Big shot. It's a lot of money. You should hang on to it. Let's go to Michelle in Israel. Michelle, what's going on?
Hey, Pat, thank you very much for the Pat and the Hawk and the angry dogs with you. But the conspiracy with I'm a big Steelers fan here. In Israel, we have such a way to respond to these things. We tell them, we look at their face, and we tell them, screw you.
Oh, they do it down in Israel. They do it down in Israel.
Screw you.
Look somebody in the face, say screw you.
So
dude.
I'm actually hearing you from now and from like a minute ago. So I hear W.
We hear us too in the background. You can turn that down if you want to, or just let it ride, whatever. Too much of me is a little bit too much, I think.
From when you guys when you made the dog noises like a minute ago, it went too loud now, and I cannot hear what you say.
All right. Sometimes, Indianapolis to Israel there's going to be some technical things that happen. There's a couple satellites that we're hitting, bing around, and we're going down. Israel, what part of Israel are you in, Michelle?
I'm in a place called Tzefat, the holy city of Tzefat. It's in the northeast.
Okay, and I think Israel, I've heard like a trip there. There's what is it? What's that? What's
the Waning Wall?
Not the birthright. The birthright thing is for Jewish folks, right? To do that, you got to go back at least one time. But I think there's a city over there that's like it's like a Vegas over there.
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv. I've heard Tel Aviv is a great time, Michelle. Have you been to Tel Aviv?
So I understood you asked a question. I could not understand what the question was.
All right, Shabbat, Michelle. Appreciate you, dude. Shabbat, man.
Good lesson.
Honest guy.
So he's up here in the north side.
He's close to Beirut.
Oh,
beautiful
Beirut.
this time of year.
Nice.
Oh,
kind of.
He needs to head to Tel Aviv. I've heard.
I've heard Tel Aviv is a good time, is what I've been told.
Just down the coast from him.
Let's go to Mike over there in Baltimore. Mike, do you have something to say about the Ravens who are, potentially trying to set up this Week 18 game? Oh, no.
What's going on today?
Wasn't about
What is? There has to be something.
We're going to have to reset the phones.
Pat, AJ, boys. How
Let's
we doing?
Hey, not too bad, Mike. Okay, hope everybody here in Baltimore, because I heard there's a COVID spike, is okay and stay safe.
So,
Yeah, I think the lines are a little
Lines are
sketchy.
scrambled up.
We had a good run, didn't we?
Yeah, we tried.
Only got a few minutes. We did try. We had a call from Israel, though. That's pretty cool.
There we go. You want an update on this?
Yeah, what's the poll here for the sides? By the way, AJ, I would like to hear your thoughts on this thing.
Yep, Thanksgiving poll. What's your favorite side for Thanksgiving? Last place, mac and cheese, 24.2%. Stuffing, 37.4%. Mashed potatoes, 38.4%.
It's a joke. Fade the people, bro.
Big win.
Fade the people.
No, they got the Colts right.
What do you think, AJ?
I mean, I didn't know. Is mac and cheese a Thanksgiving staple?
Oh, my God.
So, okay, this is very interesting. So we've been learning this on the social media since announcing this. I think it's a Southern thing. I think it's more of a. I've had it whenever I was at West Virginia and in Indiana. It is something. So I assume it could potentially be a regional thing. But those who love mac and cheese will put it anywhere, and it's not too shabby next to the ham, next to the turkey, and with the stuffing. I mean, it's actually one good big bite, by the way. If you want to go ahead and do a combo thing. The thing that's missing, by the way, from that bite, if you notice, is the shitty ass mashed potatoes.
It's your loss.
I agree. If I had to pick one of these three, I would take stuffing over mashed potatoes. And
AJ knows.
You get it.
AJ knows.
He doesn't know.
He does know.
No, he doesn't know.
You're not just eating like slop. That's what mashed potatoes are.
Are you kidding me?
No, listen, you put salt on there. They're great. Cheese on there. It's great. Butter, it's on there.
Bacon bits.
Bacon bits, it's on there. It's great. Listen, I understand that you can dress up mashed potatoes, okay? You can dress it up and it will taste good. And I have respect for mashed potatoes. Obviously, they've been a staple for a long time, that meal. Okay, I have respect for it. But whenever it's head-to-head with stuffing, doesn't stand a fucking chance. Not a single chance.
You just called mashed potatoes slop. I can't even look at you. You basically called it porridge, dude. Mashed potatoes are like one of the original 6 of the Thanksgiving dinner meal, okay? It was on the first table. Now, I don't want to get into who was sitting at the table, but it was still on the first table.
Yeah.
Mash are one of the original. Mount Rushmore mash is on there, and you are disrespecting it and calling it slop.
And by the way, everything people ate back in those days, tastes like shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That
everything.
right, hey,
everything they taste like
turkey.
Everything they ate
Turkey,
back.
mashed potatoes, smallpox. That's it. That's the list. That's what they ate.
Bingo!
Listen, turkey got deep fried, got much better very quickly.
True.
Okay? Mashed potatoes, they figured out some way to make it taste good.
Load them.
And those pox, you said, found a vaccine. You know what I mean? Gotta do what you gotta do.
Maybe a better question would have been, what Thanksgiving side gave you strength?
What do you think, Gumpy? Say it.
No, don't
say it.
Do it. Do it.
Don't say what you want to say.
Yeah.
He's got the worst take of all time.
Oh, it's
Go ahead,
Canada.
Gump.
Do it.
Let it rip.
Do it.
Obviously stuffing.
No.
I don't believe
Even
that.
Canada knows.
Pander alert.
Even Canada knows.
Loves the cranberries.
Yeah, cranberry sauce, dude. They call stuffing dressing down in the South, by the way.
Really?
I believe it's called that. Yeah,
That's foolish.
And the mac and cheese on the side.
That does make sense, so.
Well, it doesn't matter what you call it. It tastes better than fucking mashed potatoes.
No, that's not true.
I love
And not a single person that voted there, okay, will eat their mashed potatoes plain. Not a single one of them.
Well, but they're going to eat the mashed potatoes first because it's their favorite side, and the majority rules, and that just won today's poll.
Yeah, you just like them are programmed.
No, I'm not programmed.
It's on the first table.
No,
it was the first side that ever happened.
That's
If
right.
stuffing was that good, you would eat it more than once a year.
I would. Congrats to me, I do.
Yeah.
I'm on keto currently, so I can't do it, but I would. I have a box of stovetop in the house at all times.
At the ready.
Might as well eat dog food.
Oh.
Thank you, Nick.
By the way, dogs love mashed potato. Dogs love the mashed potato.
Yeah.
Get stuck on their lips and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're eating it later, you know?
Yeah, I'm team dog.
Idiots.
Tony.
Not the dogs. I'm talking about Connor.
All right. Have a great Thanksgiving. I will not be on NXT tonight. Pete Dunne will be beating the hell out of an Undisputed Era. Remember, that would be a great watch. We're off tomorrow. We'll be back Friday, a couple of us, so we can save a vacation day. From AJ Hawk, myself, and everybody, have the greatest Thanksgiving of all time. Chris Mad Dog Russo is next. Have a great day. Cheers. Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, now.
Enjoy your potatoes.
Happy Thanksgiving, dude. So AJ, on the show, I announced that the only reason why I'm doing a show Friday is so that I can save vacation days for later. I wonder if the serious people listening and go, this motherfucker,
Son of a bitch.
this son of a bitch, this guy. God
You
damn.
gotta love it though. Everyone else is taking off, so they want someone live, don't they?
I don't know. I think that was kind of like, hey, everybody else is not doing the show.
Yeah.
No one wants to come in, so you guys
Want to do it or
you
no?
guys good or
No. Yeah, I got no problem. Yeah, a lot of the boys are traveling or whatever, but as long as we can turn that light on, pal, I will speak if I have to. Take a lot of phone calls, you know. Talk about the big sale Friday sale.
Yeah, hopefully they have the phone lines fixed by then.
Oh my
got low on
God!
'em.
What are we gonna do on Friday?
Can't do 3 hours of that.
Not to.
Hey, that's real. We're gonna have to figure that one out by Friday for real, but not on Thanksgiving because you guys should enjoy the holiday. What do you got going on? You gotta feed like what? 15 kids just in your house.
No, just a small, intimate gathering in the house.
Smart.
Family.
intimate.
People we've been with the whole time.
Smart.
What
Smart.
about you?
Same. Absolutely same.
What about the boys? They're all traveling, just going to spread it everywhere or what?
Yeah, it's interesting. They're trying to go to each one of these cities, pick it up, and bring it back.
Yeah, drive around.
Do the responsible thing.
Get some gas station.
Oh, just wait until you see the amount of COVID tests that are going to be required for these boys to get back in the fucking office, pal. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I might have got my hands on some COVID tests, by the way.
Woo!
Probably wasn't supposed to say that.
I'm sure they're legit. I'm sure they're, when you got DM'd, somebody said they can give them to you. I'm sure that guy's very credible.
Wasn't a DM. Was not a DM. Was a phone call from somebody that was very credible.
MD.
And it was very, very interesting. It was very, very interesting. It would be nice because we got to sit in these fucking... Dude, getting the test is impossible, especially now.
Yeah.
I sat for 3 hours the other day to get my test because of how many people are trying to get it, I think, for Thanksgiving, so they're not the bad person going into their holiday, which I can respect it or whatever, but it is tough to get them. So, I'm just trying to make some calls around. You know what I mean? Trying to swing the hammer a little bit around. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you, Mr. Goodell.
Thank you, Goodell.
Goodell didn't give me the test.
Yeah.
That is not who gave me the test. What happened to those quick tests that were supposed to happen for the Pac-12? You remember that?
I think they're
I think
fake.
they got them, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they're allowed to use for travel, though. Like, I'm not allowed to use those ones for travel. Travel, you got to do a PCR.
Well,
or
big
whatever.
air.
And the PCR ones, when they get in the nose there, they
Real
go
deep.
They go deep. They go for you, man.
They do the quick ones, don't they? But don't you automatically have to get like a backup a nose swab one?
Yeah, they got the immediate response one if there is an emergency feel, and it's like 90 to 95% accuracy is what they say. But how do they know? You know, it's like 90.
10% is a wild swing.
That is. It's like a 95% accuracy. That's why you have to get the big one if you want to travel anywhere, because the quick one can give you some peace of mind, I guess, to go to an event or whatever, or a thing where other people have to get it. But the PCR one is 2 days, 3 days sometimes. I've been getting 2 a week for like the last month and a half. I'm about done with it. So, but I got to do it. Got to be safe. Got to be smart. And I'm getting
Connor. I thought Connor found like he's one of the early guys to get his hand on a bunch of the vaccines coming out.
No. I tried, but I wasn't able to. AJ, thank you for checking in on that.
I thought you and Bill Gates were tight.
No, me and Gates, we kind of lost communication after I switched to the PS5, but I appreciate what you're getting at.
Probably smart, yeah. He loved you whenever you were on that Xbox.
He actually reached out to my gamer tag personally.
Yeah. Boston Stooge was like, hey,
Boston
this is a guy. This is a guy.
1776, actually, but once that happened, it is what it is. I'm a Sony guy.
Yeah, PS5 is captivating the world. You can win one of 3 that we're giving away. Go to the Big Sale Friday sale, store.patmcafeeshow.com, 20% off everything. What's going on, Gumpy?
AJ, can we get your locks for tomorrow's game?
Yeah. You're hot right now. I completely forgot, Gump. Good call.
Oh, I did have one pick. I'm not going to always have a pick, I don't think, but I feel
whoa. Yeah, you should. You don't feel forced. Just if you feel it, just say it.
That's what I'm saying. I felt it. So I was looking at this Lions-Texans game, and Lions are underdogs, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're winning. I don't need the points on that either.
Let's go.
Whoa. Big bounce back game to buy Matt Patricia another week.
Okay. Hey, I wasn't going to bet that game because I didn't know how to go. Now that you said that, I'm going with that as well. I like the boys too against Washington football team. By the way, they're -2.5. I like them to cover just because this is the Andy Dalton revenge tour, and Andy Dalton played a lot of really good football when he was at Cincy, but nobody knew it because he was at Cincy, and that is Mike McCarthy and the boys. I feel like they figured it out down there.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying when I say about Patricia, I don't want them. I don't think they should fire him. I'm just saying it seems like that's where we're at in the season with him.
Devlin Hodges is tweeting about him tweeting about the game. Y'all can say, oh, Duck, you just practice squad and all that, but shit, I'm still pissed. Y'all know how nice an off weekend is? Come on. I was about to shoot a deer and ducks and drink a bunch of Busch Light. Also, wanted to watch my boys go crazy on a Thursday night game. Ain't that right? That's how Duck feels.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same, Duck.
Say it,
Same.
Duck. There he is right there. Y'all can say, oh, Duck. Oh, Duck. Oh, Duck.
Oh, Dick.
I love Duck Hodges, dude.
He's shooting ducks.
Hey, what does he sound like tweeting that out if he was to read that thing verbatim, Ty?
I don't know if I can do that.
Ty, if you had to read that.
Y'all can say, oh, Duck, you just practice squad and all that, but shit, I still pissed. I mean, y'all know how nice an off weekend is? Come on. I was about to shoot a deer and ducks and drink a bunch of Busch beer. Also wanted to watch my boys go crazy on Thursday night game. Don't forget to register to vote.
We love you, Doug.
We love you, Doug.
We love you.
Love you, Doug. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Duck. Need you, Duck.
Hammer Down starts in a couple of minutes. From Milan to Pittsburgh, Revtown jeans are the holy grail of jeans. A few guys from Under Armour quit their jobs and decided to make the most comfortable jeans on the planet. The guys took the stretchy athletic apparel fiber and the sweet comfort of sweatpants and partnered with the best maker of premium denim in Milan, Italy to create high-end denim jeans. Every pair of jeans is just $79 since they have no middleman. Think about that. They have jeans from Milan for $79.
Whoa.
Most places are charging 2 to 3 times that price for jeans like this. We wear them all the time, and they really do feel like sweatpants. Head over to revtown.com/McAfee. That's REVTOWN.com/McAfee and check out their jeans. Again, Again, that is revtown.com/McAfee, and get jeans for more than half the price of their competitors. Shout out to RevTown. Shout out to AJ. Shout out to you. Everybody have an incredible Thanksgiving. Please be safe. We'll be back live on Friday. If you got nothing going on Bigger Sale Friday, we'll be noon to 3 Eastern Standard Time, taking a lot of phone calls probably. Not all the boys will be here, but we'll be holding it down. Have an incredible weekend, everybody. We will see you, AJ, on Monday. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Stay safe.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Zito will announce the hashtag Arby's is great meat sweatsuit winner tomorrow on his Twitter account. Yeah. We'll sign it. Congrats to whoever wins that. That's been the show. You all are the nicest people of all time for watching the show and subscribing to our channel. The fact that we have our own platform allows us to do a lot of things, including Aaron every single week, the guests that we have, everything that we do, basically. So we are very thankful for you this Thanksgiving. Please know that, and have a great one. Be safe. That's been the show. We'll see you Monday. All right, see you guys. All right, I got to record the open and the close for the podcast real quick. We recording back there? Hello. It is Wednesday, November 25th. It is a thankful Wednesday, isn't it, Ty? Yeah, big time. Ty, yeah.